This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. This show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is The Show. It's Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside this week's... it changes all the time. This week, it's Katie June, Marnie Ryer, and that right there looks like Al Perkins to me. I think it is. Kat Carlson has the night off, primarily because, just like the rest of us, she's not paid to be here, so she doesn't really care. Takes a night off if she needs it, just like anybody else would.
Just volunteering for shit.
Now, we believe that she's past the contagious point in the arc of illness, but Katie's a little under the weather. She's yeah. So you're gonna sound more raspy than normal. Is that what we're thinking?
I wish it was a raspy.
Not even like a sexy, sick voice.
It's a down lower bug.
Yeah, I got nothing good out of that. Because at least when you have like the up here flu, you get that like sexy thing.
Oh yeah. What do you? Oh, I need to turn your mic on. There, to try that one.
I just wondered if we had Ebola masks.
Yeah.
I considered bringing one. I really believe
think
that
it's a good idea.
I genuinely believe that I'm past contagious.
We'll know tomorrow.
I
You're guinea pigs.
Vomited since Sunday.
I had a girl.
Yeah?
Well,
We're okay.
Let's talk to our waitress in chief.
Our resident waitress.
Waitress, what do you think?
The stomach ones are very rarely contagious from breathing on somebody.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it came in and went out.
Well, literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Couple of ways there.
Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'll just make it all a little promise that what I'll do before next week's episode of this, I'll wash all these microphone pop guards so that
Just hers.
sanitary.
Well, whatever she's but but it's not respiratory.
No, but
yeah.
just safety first,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Only you can prevent
Could you
forest
pass the
fires.
hand sanitizer?
Well, do you need a
Yeah, I need a wipe.
A sandy hand?
Yeah.
Here you go. Here.
Because like the real flu very rarely comes with stomach parts.
Yeah, this actually is not the flu. I read all about it when I was trying to determine if I had the stomach flu or food poisoning or like God only knows what was happening.
Now, a lot of people that I know that do get these issues like you're talking about. Like years ago, I had a friend who said that he was one good sinus infection away from being at his goal weight.
Yeah.
So I don't know, has anybody in your family really strive for the goal weight? Like, oh, I'm almost there.
It is my new diet.
Oh, this week, sadly, it is.
In addition to not
Not by
vomiting
choice.
since Sunday, I also haven't eaten since then either.
Wow.
And that's not by my choice. Right. I mean, I really I'm not like doing the sick things, but that just like kind of queasy just won't. It just won't go away.
Yeah.
So,
but you've got a sparkly kind of a sweatshirt on, so you're trying to do that. You're trying to do that look good, feel good thing.
And I like how glowy everyone is during a fever. Like
Yeah.
that's the part that I'm always like, oh, it's a Christmas glow. No, that's the flu, dear.
I'm dying.
so funny because I did at one point look in the mirror and I'm like,
funny.
my cheeks look very nice and
Rosy.
I was flushed with fever, but
But it's a good look on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wear it well.
well, and I know what I just did want to share because this is like a real low point as a parent, like just a low point. So we went to I know we're kind of not like sharing our weeks yet, but here goes.
Oh no, go ahead. We're on
Jump
it.
right in.
So
Take
we
it
went
from Al.
to the.
We just do whatever we want in this show anyway.
We went to the.
Oh, you mean we're all allowed to do that?
Sure,
Okay.
yes, anytime.
Okay.
To the light parade.
Yeah.
Which was great. And it was crazy, by the way. The light parade happens at 7:00 fucking p.m.
Yes.
on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I was there at 7:00 a.m. setting up chairs
Right.
and like
staking out your area.
Oh my gosh.
Because
And
those people are militants about that shit.
And that was only because my ass got up to go get coffee that early and went and drove on Central and was like, what the hell? There were like barely any spots left.
Yeah, those people are crazy.
At about 7:15.
Right.
So I went out and we had a lot of friends that were coming to meet us. So anyway, we go and we spread it out and it's all good and good day. We get down there and we ordered pizza because there were 20 of us or something. So
Because that sounds like a good idea when you have a stomach virus.
stomach
Pizza
virus
tastes good
didn't
down
happen.
and up. You
No,
know
it
what I
didn't
mean?
happen yet.
Okay.
So this is Saturday. So we get the pizza and everyone's eating it and blah, blah, blah. And Palmer is standing in the corner. There's tons of kids. And Palmer throws up all over the tarp. And I'm like, oh, huh. But
That's odd.
Could someone get that? Clean up.
yeah, but
She
we
never
also,
does that at home.
right? No, she does. So this is why if it's something she doesn't want to eat, or she's being stubborn, or I say you need to finish your dinner before you can have cupcake, which we had all kinds of snacks, she shoves it in her mouth so quickly that she gags it out. It's not intentional, but she's like, I just got to get this down because I'm whatever done, or I don't want it, or whatever.
You got to get to that cupcake.
Got to get to the cupcake. So she gags it. That's probably not a healthy way to teach her about food, but it's what we do.
That's fine.
I think not.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she throws up. So I go around telling all the other parents, oh, it's fine. I mean, she has not been sick at all. And I'm like, no, it's fine, everybody. She's just this thing she does. She wants the cupcake, so don't worry about it.
She just pukes.
So we get home that night. People come over, friends, whatever.
Oh.
Over.
Bring 'em
even
home.
after that. Yeah. And I wake up, at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, we're asleep and Palmer's crying. And I'm like, well, she's probably hungry because I didn't actually give her very many snacks after she vomited, just to be sure.
Yeah.
Proactive.
And so I'm like, I'm going to take her some milk. She's probably hungry. It's 4. It's way too early for her to wake up. So I go in her room and I open the door and it's just reeks.
No.
And I'm like, and she's just sitting in her bed, shaking, mommy, help. And I'm like crying. And then I like, oh my God. Kelly and I get
You were
up.
hoping it was for an exorcism, or like there was a Linda Blair.
I'm like,
No,
maybe.
she's really sick.
Just sick. So we like go into like full mode, like disinfect the house mode. One's cleaning, one's bathing, the whole thing. And she's crying and she's so sick. So we get her into our bed with us and all is well until about, by the way, we bring, we line towels on our bed and she goes through those a couple times. She's vomiting in the bed and we have a bucket.
True love.
She's not making it to the bucket.
Yes.
I know this is such a disgusting story. And about 9 a.m. I'm like, and I start to go, something's not right. And I proceed to the bathroom. I follow suit. And Kelly
I'd like
is
to welcome you to
now-
Healthcare Corner here on Q Talk
Kelly is
America.
now taking care of the entire family until about noon, 1 o'clock, when I hear
Boom.
her in the other bathroom, and I'm like, oh, this is so bad. We've got both bathrooms and a bucket on the couch, and it was ugly on Monday. So anyway, Kelly, on top of that, does actually have congestion and all this other, so she's really in a bad
She's
place.
really screwed.
Yeah.
So
Does her voice sound good though? Like she have like
she has like the sexy,
Just
the low
curious.
voice, yeah. So anyway,
Sort of
I
broad.
feel like all is well.
Palmer actually.
Yeah, how's
talking
Palmer?
Like that. Yeah.
Palmer was great by Sunday night.
No, I meant talking
Oh yeah,
like that.
well
You
yeah,
know,
that right.
Little
But she
Demi
was so
Moore.
good by Sunday night, and she was literally parenting herself. She's 3, mind you, because Kelly and I were both in the bed, and as the house is getting darker and darker and darker, and like no lights are on because no one's out to turn them on, and she keeps watching the same sad movie on repeat. I hear it, but I can't do anything about
Bambi,
it.
where the mom dies over and
I
over
heard
again.
mommy.
One of these
turn up
times
on
that deer's gonna live.
Christmas.
That deer's gonna live
It was
next
really
time.
sad. I finally walk out because I'm like, someone has to put this child to bed. And Kelly got sick later than me, so now I'm gonna do it. So anyway, I walk out. There are like 8 cartons of individual self-serve chocolate milk all drank on the counter, a couple of like squeezy packets, some yogurt, and some applesauce, all of the things that she can reach in the fridge level, and she's gone through all of them because she's starving at this point. Anyway, we go
Well,
to
nobody's
bed.
there to control her.
No,
There's no regulation.
Things are good. Yesterday, we keep her home from school just to be safe. People are starting to feel on the mend. Last night, I put her back to bed. Last night, she wanted a hot dog. That was a mistake because I'm like, oh, she's fine. Okay. She hasn't eaten in days. She wants a hot dog. Good. I go in to the mommy at 11 o'clock last night, and we're back to square one in the bed. I had taken NyQuil. Kelly was already on NyQuil. I slept on a slate floor next to the couch. She vomited in the bucket again last night. That was ugly. I feel better.
Can we just call it a show?
We'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, and we're out. Boom.
I feel better. But here's the really sad part that I just like did a quick round. I was like, hey, how are you? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Max got sent home from school sick today. Did he now?
Weird.
Next family.
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing? Oh, God, Max is so sick. He's been up all night. Another Max. He's just been throwing up all night. And then we get from another family with twin boys that are 2 that their boys are also sick. And I'm like, oh, and I have to tell them. I have to be like, so it's Palmer, and this is yesterday. I'm like, I think it's just a 24-hour thing, though. It should be done soon. And then she got sick last night again. Anyway, that's my
The role of Typhoid Mary will be played by Palmer in the Christmas pageant no one wants to see.
Oh my God.
You guys,
Oh.
it was
Terrifying.
just sick.
I would like to remind everybody for the record that that's one of the many, many reasons I don't ever want children. I don't want to be responsible for any of this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Hey,
I was
you got the whole
cussing.
herd sick at the same time. So
Sorry.
Well, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's charming. I know. And I was actually, I felt bad because last night when I had to do it all by myself, I threw the baby in the bath again, threw the baby out with the bathwater, and I was in the bedroom cussing under my breath, and I'm like, motherfucker, I can't clean up any more fucking vomit. And she's crying in the bathroom by herself, and Kelly's NyQuil passed out in the dark room, and I'm just like,
How many therapy sessions do you think this is going to take to fix?
It's like just.
Well, once you include the range of toddlers that were infected.
And then sue Disney because of Bambi repeats.
Yeah, what was the sad movie she was watching?
Oh, it actually was Disney, but it was not Bambi.
that's
It was Mickey Christmas. I suppose it's not sad. It's only sad after you have to watch it 14 times in a row. Like then, and she's just like pulled every single toy off the shelf. The poor girl was just like literally parenting herself
Sure.
for about 12 hours at the very least.
That is funny.
That's
And
a
Molly
lot.
ends the story with a fa la 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 la.
So I'm drinking ginger ale.
Oh, Tomo,
Tonight
if you're
and
just
forevermore.
joining us, you've missed the best part of the show already.
Oh, you have definitely.
be
The
sure to-
reason for the season,
Yeah,
really.
listen back later. Anyway, hi Tomo, Aaron from LA.
Hi.
My
Hi,
mom,
guys.
Mama Dies there. Also,
And
of
my
course,
sister
Molly.
is listening. She just can't handle
Debbie?
the chat room.
Hi,
Can't do
Debbie.
the two at once yet.
Sorry, it takes a village
Yeah.
to figure out either to throw up a bunch of kids or to figure out how to use the chat room. There's a lot going on with that. Now, Ryer,
Yes.
can you top that story? You got anything?
I got nothing. No, I got nothing. I had to go potty one time this week, but that was about it.
But it was just a
You
normal.
might want to
Yeah.
see a doctor if you only went potty one time
What's-
this week. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like,
Eating a lot of
compared to that,
cheese? What the
nothing.
hell's- yeah.
No, what did I do this week?
Well, didn't I see your Vikes won something?
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Against the Mrs. Sanchez's team,
Yes. Well,
the Jets.
they let him go, so
Yeah, I
they
know,
get pummeled
exactly.
anytime I win. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
they
it.
let him
That's
go.
it. Yeah,
Well, now
he's
he's with the Eagles. He's gonna make it to the playoffs again. Don't you worry.
No, don't worry about it at all.
I laugh because a friend of mine on the Facebooks, he's a very avid Vikes fan as well.
Wow.
And he posts things about them or whatever. So when he posts things about wins and stuff,
Right.
I immediately, my knee-jerk reaction is to share it on your page.
Sure.
And I have
Then you
lear-
know she might be tape delaying.
Right, exactly. She might not watch it till Tuesday, for God's sakes, or whenever. I just picked a day.
You're very sweet for that.
But
I do appreciate
I've learned
that.
not to spoil your fun because God knows the rest of the fucking world knows that game's over and what happened, but not until Monday morning do you want to watch it.
We actually watch it on Sunday. We do watch it Sunday, but we'll, if
Yeah, you
something's
just-
going on, then if
delay it a bit.
All of them are starting at 11 this year, except for next week somehow. But otherwise, they're all starting at 11. So sometimes there are things going on that maybe move it to 1 or
All
move
right.
it to
Yeah.
whatever. So
Got
we're
it.
usually just we don't wait until the next day, for God's sake.
Okay.
I can only. But I've gotten used to my phone going way over here.
Yeah, well, like him, he
Until-
goes on Radio Silence award
Right.
shows.
Well,
or-
all day Sundays now because between the football scores, which for some reason I've gotten to watch a lot of football this year, more than the past, and then Homeland is the new one that people are
Oh my
like,
God, I
spoiler
know.
alerts on.
They're-
Walking
they're
Dead, like,
everywhere.
there's too much on that. I'm
Too
like,
much.
I am so sad, and I want to talk about this later because whatever. But the I know that's just happening in my brain. The RuPaul's Drag Race,
Yes.
really exciting.
I don't.
cast.
I have met Tempest Azure from Arizona. I've met
Yeah.
her once, but it was in very brief passing. I do not know her well at all.
I don't either.
I don't know any of the other queens on it, and so far we haven't.
where
been
did she come
given-
from then that nobody knows her?
No, she's a Tucson
from
queen.
Tucson.
She
Gotcha. Enough said.
she is known, and a lot of, and I've seen pictures of her. A lot
Oh
of
no!
people know her.
You stalk them. She loves them.
I just am excited for the
Is
show.
she working
I
in
l-
Chandler? Is my question. Like,
okay.
where's she hiding
It
now?
is Tucson, and also oddly, a lot of people didn't know this. He's a professor at the university down there.
Is he really?
Yeah, who knew
Oh,
that?
Which
I'm sure once that bubbles to the surface, they'll figure out some way to kick him out for that. You can't be a drag queen and a professor.
That's right. I've watched all these videos about them, and
You've had nothing else to do.
that's actually true.
That's a good thing about illness. You get caught up on your TV.
Oh yeah, it's really true. But my point is that I was like kind of just doing some Google searching about it, and I think I know who won. And I'm pissed because I found
Why
this
would
chart
you-
that I clicked on. It was
I don't think-
horrible, and
I
it was
don't
like,
think Ray
and I,
filmed
I don't think
now
you-
I'm angry.
Those queens are threatened within an inch of their life with contracts and multi-million-dollar lawsuits if they leak anything. And apparently that was
I
shot.
hope so.
Apparently this, from what I'm hearing, this was shot early last summer.
Because the trailers
or
are
earlier this summer,
redonkulous. I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
We don't have
This
a.
isn't one of the few shows that saves the finale till after. Like Project Runway films in advance, but they don't tape the
They don't-
winner is taped during the production, so you don't know.
Oh no, I don't think.
No,
this
well,
does. This is
what
done.
Drag Race.
And then they tape it like three different ways.
What
or
they've
something?
been doing is that, which is crap. Which they'll get down to their final 3, and they do a live taping of the finale in a theater in LA, and they tape 3 different endings. And then they broadcast it the final week. And all of us, the fans, to use your phrase, all the fanboy pages, they're all like,
It's
"You're
not
a
my phrase; it's a real thing.
Well, no, but I mean, but out of this show, you're the only one who is really championing that phrase. But what I think is funny, it's like, okay, Rue, you got enough money. Do a live finale and one winner. Let's don't go through the
yeah,
bullshit.
and do it
Rue
live.
doesn't. It's at what is she still on Logo?
Logo.
Logo's
Right.
got like 25 cents.
But still, really, you can't do a live show. And
No,
and-
that's a lot of money. A live event,
Is
a
it?
live event taped live to go live is a lot of money.
Well, they need to
that
figure
you
out-
and then you have no control over it, and you don't know these. You got to set up the 7-second delay, like the censors need to see it. And some of these people, like I always use Fergie as the best example. The reason that Fergie the singer, can't be on a live show, she's the one that they stopped doing like American Idol Gives Back and all that stuff. She can't sing live. And she fucks up and she
Neither
needs to
can
start
Mariah
over.
Carey.
So a performance can go wrong and they have to start over. These people aren't quite up to live television standards. Live television is not easy and not for sissies.
well, I just wish they
You
could.
can't fuck up. You can't flub line. You got to keep going. And
Yeah.
like they learned. Remember the second year of American Idol Gives Back? It wasn't live because Fergie tried to sing with heart and she can't sing with heart. Like
She just can't sing. Period.
well, and she can't sing with heart. She
Yeah.
was trying to sing a heart song with heart, and she kept flubbing the note. And then finally she just does it. But if you watch it, if you get a chance to Google it, she ends up just doing a backflip across the stage and leaving.
I'm
She never hits
actually
the note, and
gonna
that's what they
Google it.
finally had to air.
I'm gonna do that.
There were parts
That's
of
fantastic.
American Idol
Yes.
Gives Back that were live, and then when you get to someone, and that's live TV is very, very hard.
Well, okay,
Because
maybe,
one music cue goes wrong, you're on live television. You can't back it up. Those girls don't get another shot.
right.
Sure.
But if there's
Where that filming probably took about 12 hours to do a 2-hour show because
No,
They
it
did, 'cause
does.
Cozy was there, wasn't
it does.
she?
That you wasted an entire day to do it, but they've got to come up with something. I think they need to come up with something better, where you're not shooting 3 different endings and doing all the. I think it's a pain in the ass. We go through the whole season. I think they should find enough money somewhere, some sponsor, figure out a way to do it.
But it's also the talent. Don't forget, it's not just money. It's the talent to do a live. Live is not for sissies. Live
Well,
TV.
that's why we do this here.
Yeah.
By
But
God.
if somebody was like you were trying to do, you can't talk and switch camera angles and do all that. Like when you can tell when you were doing all that stuff.
Oh, no, of course you can.
Because you stopped talking. Like
Right.
that was your job.
Unless you guys are talking about something political or something I don't have an interest in.
Right.
Then I just do camera shots all over the place.
We're
Well,
gonna.
and
I thought I'm gonna talk about Peter Pan and the thing.
We'll get
I
there,
did-
yeah.
There were problems throughout, but it certainly was not the timing and getting it done and set changes, and that's a monumental task. That Peter Pan, like I thought that was even bigger than Sound of Music as far as like
Oh, it was
Like
for
the
sure.
A
task
lot fewer
set for
people
them.
watched it, but I didn't watch Sound of
Yeah.
Music, but I loved how the sets all flew into each other and they all changed, and I watched the whole damn thing.
Peter Pan. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The whole thing.
And I really would recommend it, and it's meant for children. It's a children's show. It has
Right.
It is not for the cynical in any way, shape, or form.
No,
I
it's,
love Peter Pan.
yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
purely for them. It was interesting. I watched it purely not because I expected it to be a blown away. I just wanted to see how they did it. That's the technical aspect. That's all I really cared to see.
And that was a lot of what made me tune in too, because again, you're switching sets. You have to go from a pirate ship over to Neverland. They have to fly. They have to get commercial, like unnatural breaks in the show
Right.
that you wouldn't have. I mean, I watched it on tape, so there weren't that many natural breaks. The pirates singing during the commercials was really fucking funny. The pirates holding the note, like if you didn't fast forward and you
yeah.
reversed to watch the
Watch,
commercials,
yeah.
the pirate would be like, ah,
and they
like
just
still
held it.
sitting there hitting the
Yeah.
note. And at one point, Christopher Walken was holding the note, and the pirates were cleaning the ship. It was very funny.
Yeah, that was.
I
Fun.
did see a couple
it
of
hits,
those.
it hits them.
And there was even one where they did a crossover, and I guess it was from network commercial crossing over to local commercial, and they just cut to 10 seconds of just walking, just going, ah.
Oh yeah, they had a couple of those things.
A couple of those was fun.
Yes.
I just as far as what I did.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Oh,
Ryer, back to you.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Laura, who celebrated her 50th birthday last.
Oh, happy birthday, Laura!
Yeah.
We love you.
She'll
She'll hear this next week when she listens.
Totally. I went up there as a surprise, just
Very
Sonoma. I'm
thoughtful.
like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. It's stupid not to. Like, I'm gonna go up there. So it was very fun.
You and Ernie?
No, just me.
Oh.
Aaron had to work, so
Okay.
I just
so
took
you
off-
just jumped in the old
the
family
ruin.
truckster and took off.
took off.
jalopy,
Jalopy,
if you will.
So
Okay.
that was really cool, and it was beautiful up there.
Snow?
No, but there was it was a little crisp, but
She's
it was
in Sedona, right?
rain. I mean, and the clouds and the way they formed that. I just think that place is so magical, anyways. in
I do too.
Sedona.
It's
Just
beautiful.
And I was just saying, I was so relaxed there, and then I found out that nope, you just have a lack of oxygen. Your asthma combined with the high altitude makes you kind of not heele up here. Because I'm always like, I'm so sleepy. And then I talked to my
must just be
doctor, and
so
he's like,
relaxed.
you
No,
might need
you're
to put some
sick.
oxygen.
Yeah, the elevation's getting there.
Your O2 levels are shockingly low. But you remember I said that to you when we were up there? That's what made me ask. I'm like, I'm so sleepy when I'm up here. When we did the show up there.
In Flagstaff.
Oh, I
And
forgot.
after like
yeah.
3 hours, I'm like, let's take a nap.
That's right.
Nappy time.
Yeah.
I do recall
I'm
that.
tired now. We had our Christmas party for work on Saturday.
That went off without a hitch.
Well, yeah, people are, and God bless them if anyone's listening.
Do we need a disclaimer for you to
subtle.
explain this?
People are just
Supple.
people are so interesting. Like, everybody wants something for free, and they don't want to try to have fun. And they probably were all going to this place. We had it at the Deuce, which is downtown Phoenix. It's a great venue.
It really
The
is.
Deuce is fun.
So fun. And the Deuce did a fantastic job. And Molly was there. We worked together during the day. And we had karaoke. And I thought that this would be very, like, bring everybody together, have a good time. Yeah, not really. And so, basically, oddly, Molly and I just had sing-offs. I was just like, screw it. This is $250. We're not going to shit this out. And I was so annoyed with everybody.
So you just took it
there
over.
were
Wait,
small
and
children,
why were
'cause
they being
honest to God,
annoying?
we're like the Wizard of Orion.
No one
and
would
the
just
fucking
participate.
Lollipop Guild was running around everywhere. They produce more fucking children. I've never seen anything like it. And so, like, there were just too many of them running around amok. And amok. And they're running around, and one of them had urinated all over itself. Well, but the whole
Itself,
up the
that's-
diaper kind of thing.
Now I'm
up
getting
to
a
the back.
theme.
No, but here's the deal. I have the
Kids
microphone.
Week here at the show.
I have the microphone. No.
Bodily
I have
fluids,
the
a short
kids'
story
week,
by
and
Marty
I'm
Ryer.
I'm like, who wants to claim this thing running around? Who's claiming this small child running around?
Urine-soaked child.
Maybe it needs to be changed. It looks a little uncomfortable right off the back. Like, I was done with these people and their fucking children.
And now you have a microphone.
How do you carry right? How do you carry that fucking thing for 9 months and then forget you had it? How do you go to an establishment and you're like, oh yay, I'm gonna go over here with the adults. Fuck you. You need to get a goddamn nanny something to watch that kid.
They
According
make
to Peter
the-
Pan, it's a dog.
And here's my reason. They were
hired a
like,
dog.
They have like beanbag toss things. Well, the kids are jumping on them. Like, this is owned by the establishment.
Right.
Oh,
Watch the thing that you birthed.
Yeah.
Or bought.
So what was the?
However it is.
What was the?
However you
both.
self-identify.
Whatever. I mean, I was half
Was
doctor,
Jolie there? Now, was there a
Yeah.
deposit that you paid on this establishment?
No, I mean, basically, I just went over to the kids and I'm like, your mom said I could beat you.
Oh,
Atta
Well,
girl.
actually, to the one kid that the mom did say I could say that, and then I just smiled. I'm like, now go away. I don't have time for it. And mom, get off your ass.
oh, yeah. Why didn't mom
No,
get
as
it?
soon as they see lots of kids, plug your ears. As soon as they see lots of kids
Oh,
and
I
other
don't believe that
moms,
she would do that because I
Then
have no time.
she throws up all the
Well,
time.
that's
Let me
true.
quote.
Yeah, she's
They
okay.
seriously go, la, la, la. I don't hear the word mom because there's 18 people going to answer that. Someone will mistakenly.
Well, don't
care
you
for
think
my
that
child.
or don't you think that parents think that in herds the children will all take care of themselves?
Right.
It's like a rolling ball of
You
crap
hope.
over there.
One would hope.
And then you do the, and then you
Parent
do the
will
herd,
hope.
you do the herd immunity thing. Get them all sick at once. Nobody's got to share babysitters. You're all just sick. They used to do that with the chicken pox
Yeah,
back in the
that's true.
70s.
That's true.
One kid gets the chicken
Come on
pox.
over.
Shove
We're
them
not
together.
doing this for weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring them all over.
Yeah.
They all got to get it. Let's do it now. We can
Do it together.
We can do it as a herd.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I
and it's
just
a
became-
genius thing to do. And I brought it up in nursing school. Sorry to
No,
interrupt your portion
that's
again.
weird.
I brought it up in nursing school about parents doing that in the 70s, and everyone was so offended. I'm like, think it through for a second. They're going to get them sometime.
Yeah.
Why not make it convenient for you?
And know
The
when
whole
they're gonna
neighborhood
get
gets
it.
done at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, that is true.
Come on
You're
over and
praying,
kiss your
you're praying for
friend.
the kid to get it in June.
Come on over and kiss
like,
your
right
friend.
At the beginning.
Come on
Because
over.
then one mommy stays home and can take 3 of them in. They all
right.
just itch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're all
right.
going to...
Calamine
Put 'em in the
kids
bath
together.
together.
HBO Kids is on, or whatever the fuck that channel's called.
Just send them to Katie. She's gonna throw them in the
Yeah.
tub.
It was a,
Throw 'em in the water.
simpler time in the 70s.
Sure
Kids
was.
could swear. They all
I
got
like
diseases
it.
together.
It was, wasn't
Cars
it?
may or may not have had
knock
good
this- Let's
seatbelts.
knock this flu out early in the year. Everybody together.
Yes.
It was very funny though. Like, cause I just got the longer it went on, well, I had some cocktails, and then I just got snarkier. It was an open bar. Who can bitch about an open bar?
no,
When
we
you
can't.
go to the-
People
That's
pay
fun.
$20 and act like you acted for like you act
Go ahead.
Really?
Start again.
like you asked for a kidney.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh my god, this costs $10 and they don't have Absolute."
Yeah.
You couldn't get a glass of fucking Absolute.
And that was the thing. This was just free.
You're
Yeah.
gonna drink
Like,
Pop-Off,
And people
squeeze
were
bottle
still
of
just
vodka, and
crappy.
you're gonna
And it was
fucking like it.
delicious. And it was so anyway, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But no one was singing. And then all of a sudden the Molly, I'm like, I need you. Just I need you, that's all. So she came out and we
Molly,
did,
I need you, girl.
Molly, you in danger, girl. We
like
we did
you
a
were in
little
danger.
Pet Shop Boys. I mean,
Isn't it so much fun when
it-
karaoke, when
Oh,
no
it's
one else is
stupid.
singing karaoke but
Kamikaze
you?
karaoke.
How have Molly and I never done karaoke together?
Oh my
What's
God,
up with
it's
that?
hysterical.
What is Tama? What are you asking? Was this
Well, hello,
Jupiter Holla?
Holla. I know you're doing fine. Every day you work the factories. Every night a jug of wine.
Whoa,
I don't
hey.
know.
What the fuck
But
are
now
you
those
doing?
bumps from
Big
Moramax
business.
are trying to milk us dry. But we all know my sister Rose will sound the battle cry. My sister Rose gonna kick 'em in their little old lay-hoo.
It's Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler from Big Business. Oh my god. All
Did you
gay
sing
cards.
that song?
What?
Did you sing that song?
All gay cards have been revoked. All of them.
Totally,
All
right?
of them.
Wow.
I don't even know. I'm assuming that's where he's going.
Well,
with
it's
that.
got to be.
But it was just
Shoot it up.
very fun. We and the microphone I would set it down and go to walk away, and the DJ was just gonna play, and all of a sudden the outfield came on. Josie's on it, and I just picked it back up and started singing. I didn't realize I knew all the words to so many songs. Had no idea. And there are bleachers at the Deuce.
Okay.
And
Which are so
Kathy
fun.
and Molly and Aaron are all sitting there in a row, like, and lighting their lighters. I was hysterical.
The pips. They're her
They were
pips.
the pips. It was
That's
hysterical.
awesome.
So that was fun. That was fun. So it was just fun. That's all.
Oh, he's asking about Jupiter Holla was taking the kids around to get sick.
I knew which one he was
Oh,
talking
okay,
about.
got it.
I did not.
Hey,
but
when I
Jupiter
was a kid, I
Hollis
thought I
is
lived in a
a-
big city because we had 5 screens of movie theaters. Let me tell you, people.
Oh.
Maybe
fancy.
6. I know.
I did not know that.
We had the
That's why
Summit
I'm like,
Cinemas.
oh.
We had the Jerry
Solid.
Lewis Cinemas. Jerry Lewis had a theater chain.
Their motto is
in
you'll never
Niagara?
watch alone.
No, because my cousin was always trapped with
I
me.
just used that.
My poor cousin.
That's
She
funny.
all through the summer when my people would come visit, they'd string my cousin along. They'd be like, "Just drop him off at a fucking movie. Who wants to watch those two?" So we went to movies. Me and my cousin have seen so many movies together, just because we were just dropped off by ourselves. But mostly it was just go wander around the mall and see what the pedophiles are up to.
Right.
But we would just take our money and go see
Work that out.
movies. That's what my parents. That was
That's funny.
what babysitting was back then. Was drop Alfie off at a movie and then they wouldn't come pick me up. I would have to call neighbors like Mr. Penders and
Wait,
be like,
they would just take you.
Because my parents
and
were,
leave me
your
there.
parents
I'm
were
like,
drunk.
any way you can take no, because they were working. They worked. Aside from
Oh.
drinking a lot, my parents worked a lot.
No, wrong parents. Mine were drunk.
But there was a couple times where I had to call neighbors and be like, 283-8039 is like the one neighbor, and 236-0138 is the other neighbor.
Ooh, very good.
Oh, I know.
I was
I have a
about
couple.
to
I have a couple
Good.
numbers still
But
locked in my
I
head.
would call them and be like, "Can you come pick me up? The movie's over and nobody's outside."
and it's 3:00 in the morning.
And they just knew. They're like, sure, Al. We'll be there soon.
Oh, they left him at a movie again.
Where are you going? Going to get Alfie.
that theatrical Alfie. We're going to get him.
That used to make me.
You know, the kid that gave us all chicken pox. We're going to get that little bastard.
People
Well, we
ask
know
me
we can't
sometimes,
get
like,
it again.
Well, you're so young. You surely didn't see that in the movie theater. Yep, I did. I saw Jaws in the movie theater. I was 9.
That's fantastic.
By
8.
yourself.
I was 8 years old. There was somebody with me, not of age, because we
Right.
had to have
It was your cousin.
somebody that looked 13. No, she's a little like 2 years older than me. I didn't see Jaws with her though. Her mom would have never allowed that. That was above and beyond. I snuck in with somebody was on a date, and I snuck in, or I think we lied
the
and said we were
tag-along.
seeing Missouri Breaks. There was a movie next door to that. Either we lied to see that, or I saw that because it was sold out and we saw it later. But oh yeah, I was terrified. Like I was the screaming, crying child
sure.
in the corner. That I was
Funny.
like, can we watch it again?
Because I hear, like, my parents talk about, my mom was really scared when she saw Jaws, and then I've seen it only, like, as a normal adult, and now, and I think, how was this frightening?
Because you've never seen it correctly is the other reason. Because the TV, if you've only
I've never even seen the whole thing.
Right, you've never seen
But
the
I've
whole
seen
thing, and you
pieces of it on
probably have
TV.
never seen it right, and you've never seen it letterboxed. That movie it's one of the great pieces of cinematography ever made.
Because all the sides are cut out of it when you see it on TV.
And they have to keep pan scanning, and it's just it's sumptuously filmed, and the terror just builds. It's just that dun 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 dun, and the shark never appears. So you're really just anticipating something
You never
happening.
see
The shark doesn't appear to like way over
Yeah, to
because
the
it didn't
end.
work. So they always had to. It was like Steven Spielberg having to make a good movie. The shark didn't work, so he couldn't make his usual shit. He had to build suspense and do it gently, and you just got the dun dun, and you were like, now what? And then nothing would happen.
Yeah.
But you just knew you would just see a fin pass. You're like, oh, we're safe for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
there's that movie is just filled with dread. It's like Halloween is so scary because
I've never
walks.
seen Halloween.
Halloween, he never runs. That killer and it's the tinkling piano with the synthesizer comes in. And
Scary.
I think I got that note right. He
I
never
think you did too,
runs.
actually. I think I know that note.
He just it's the
And he just happens to be everywhere. Yeah, it's like.
but he walks. No, and
Yeah.
he's nowhere. She takes 5 minutes to cross the
Yeah.
street. There's something about that. But he just slowly follows you everywhere. And he's just walking. And he's never at a brisk pace. He's never out of breath.
Is Halloween,
The night he came home. I saw that on HBO, and my mom had to rescue me from a living room chair. 'Cause I almost had a nervous breakdown. She was so mad. But she's like, well, we don't have a lock on the TV, and everyone, because they would all go to bed and think I went to bed, and I would get up and like
Right.
watch TV, and I watched that in the living.
oh yeah, he had that weird mask.
It's a you know who it is?
No.
It's William Shatner. It's a Star Trek mask that they just took the eyebrows off of.
What? Come
Yep.
on.
It's William Shatner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
And they
That's-
never paid royalties because no one recognized it. They just cut the hair a little bit and altered the mask, but it's William Shatner from It's a Star Trek
I
mask.
did.
fantastic. Never knew that.
This
This is what I'm here for, ladies and
Well, I
gentlemen.
know. I've never
do
heard that in
well.
all the years of worthless trivia that I do occasionally pick up on. I didn't know that.
That is interesting.
I like it.
Google it.
I'm doing
Just
it
like
right now.
I mean, I learned trivia today that's current as it's seasonal. That I found out that the woman who voiced the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer character in the stop-motion animation
Oh, Kelly
version,
loves those.
she passed away 2 years ago at 88 years old. She was 42 when she voiced that character.
We covered that.
I don't remember covering that.
I don't.
Yeah, we
either.
did. Well, you were very upset about it.
I'm sure I
It
am.
was a very emotional episode. It was called The Night Reindeer Died or something.
It's so weird because it doesn't look anything like him.
And there's,
until you see a picture of the mask next to him.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh my God, yeah,
and
that's him.
very little alterations. And I've been afraid of masks ever. I don't like masks.
And they comb the hair back instead of his like weird side party
yeah,
bang thing.
and there's very little alterations to it.
Interesting, Al.
Because
Very
masks always
good.
have that same expression. So people wearing masks, I don't go places where people have masks
Oh,
on.
I still freak out about Halloween. Drives me crazy because
Yeah.
if I don't know who you are, don't come up and talk
But
to
masks, no matter what you're saying beneath, you have that the mask had the
See,
blank stare,
that's
and they
William
really bother
Shatner.
me.
me. I can see it
Like
now.
with the eyebrow. That's the mask, like
Uh-huh.
with the brows and with the hair, like
I
the normal.
never knew that, but now I
But
see
now,
it.
if you, and that's like a regular one.
I think they painted it white, maybe.
They painted it
It was
white.
Yeah, the mask with Shatner.
yeah, but it was very.
They painted it white, but it's
Wow,
wait. There was a
that's
really
a little
good
fucked
like
up.
that one.
Yeah.
like this one here is William Shatner, and there's Michael
and
Myers.
I just finally got the Blu-ray because they've cleaned that one up, and that's another beautiful cinematography.
Now, let me make
that
sure.
movie is gorgeous.
Let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. It's a William Shatner mask, or was it actually William Shatner doing the walking as
Right,
well?
right.
No. It's a William Shatner
Okay,
mask.
got it. All right. Well, I thought maybe we could have been both because he's been in
Halloween,
things
Could have
Molly.
been. You're
that
right.
you never. That you
No,
never knew.
it's not him. They
Okay.
just and the first choice
It's
of the
freaky.
mask,
That mask is-
something went wrong with it, or it had some feature that they didn't like, and that they chose from two, and then they've had to keep it up, and they had to admit it almost immediately because the movie it's until My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It was the most successful independent movie of all time.
Oh, Halloween.
It was the most profitable movie ever made. It was made for like $22 and made like hundreds of millions.
Okay.
And really funny. That's when we could do a whole show just on like all the fun that is Halloween. The fact that they go from day to night while they drive around the corner, and that it's supposed to be in Illinois, but it's clearly filmed in Pasadena, California, near where Harrison's office is.
Oh.
And they drive down the street filled with leaves, but all the trees are green and lush.
Oh, you've talked about that before, yeah. You have talked about that before.
And the fact that there's a couple parts where they just have to make the movie longer because it's such a short, scary movie that to cross the street takes her like 5 to 7 minutes. And at one point, the drive around the corner to babysit takes forever. And it's just to fill some time because the movie was almost too short to be considered a feature film.
Oh, okay.
And then they released it thinking it was going to be a joke, and it's one of the biggest movies ever made. Like one of the most profitable.
And I would say that, like, hearing that the theme kind of freaks me out every
there
fucking
was
time.
There was a relaxation thing that used to be on sale. It was a relaxation CD that they used to sell on late night TV. And then
And it had that sound in it.
I gotta listen to
one
it.
of the songs was the theme from Halloween. Mm-hmm. And then they had the Tubular Bells, which was a beautiful song till The Exorcist got to it.
Okay.
And then they had the theme from The X-Files with the whistling. And I'm like, all right, what the fuck are you people selling? You're selling like things that scare me to death when I'm home alone. Like there's nothing about this that's going to make me drift off to a peaceful sleep.
little
Yeah.
boy.
I did nothing for my week, so you can just skip me.
And there you have it. How about you, Mr. McKee?
Well, hang on a second. Oh, I'm going to go through this. I hate when, as soon as YouTube figures out that we all skip all these commercials, and I just would prefer to get rid of all of them, I'd be much happier. I'd be just, no, this is what it is. It's that.
But wait, it doesn't get scary till the synthesizer comes in.
This is just him walking.
No, that's scary to me.
Wait, it should be
yeah.
there. There it is.
Oh,
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, that is a little.
Yeah. It's just creepy.
that's
Yeah,
terrifying.
yeah, it is. I agree.
But the opening shot is the jack-o'-lantern. Just because
That
they had no
is-
money for opening credits, because opening credits cost a lot of money.
Do
So
they?
if you see something where the title cards, like Woody Allen spends no money, so it's the same title cards for every movie, or you just see a thing. But if you have an opening credit, like My Best Friend's Wedding, where it's a song and dance, and it's fancy, or The
Oh,
First
yes.
Wives Club, where it's cartoons, those cost a fortune. That adds a big amount of money to a budget. So Halloween, back at the time, like it was just a close, and he wrote the music. John Carpenter didn't just direct the movie and write it. He wrote that music. And so he makes a fortune everywhere he goes.
And that was on a relaxation CD?
Yes,
Jesus
can you imagine?
Christ, that is horrifying.
Relax your upper body while your pucker tightens.
Do Kegels
Bells
while relaxing.
bells out.
Also, you're not going to have your eyes closed at all.
play a little touch of Tubular Bells since I did nothing this week but work.
Oh, tubular to get you to. Hang on.
And
Is that The Shining or is that just?
no, that's The Exorcist. But that was on that relaxation CD too.
Yeah, that's also another one that just little. What, dude? I mean, where?
What's the group that did Boy? I'm not a boy.
I guess it's gonna be another.
They do Tubular Bells, and they wrote a song to it, and it's like I'm a little scared, but I'm also dancing.
I'm dancing.
Yes,
afraid.
and John Carpenter also did the music from Escape from New York and LA soundtracks.
Oh,
Like you're just instantly terrified.
it's scary.
Because you just see her walking down the street in Georgetown, going home to like a life of hell with a demon.
Wait, and what's this in?
The Exorcist. It's called Tubular Bells.
Yeah.
And I can't even hear it now that with these things because I have them in my head. The Friday the 13th, Jason. That's all it is, but there isn't any
But
music
there's
stuff,
no
right?
music to it
Right.
now. No,
Okay.
but Tubular
I was
Bells
like,
is.
am I hearing any music?
You know
in
what?
it? don't
I
think so.
honest to God, I watched Friday the 13th, The Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
and it destroyed my world. And
Which
I
one?
never watched.
They're
I
different.
think part 3.
No, but
oh,
they're
I'm
different.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay,
Okay.
not
Is the one
Friday
with
the
Freddy
13th.
Krueger. I'm
Correct.
sorry.
Yeah,
I
okay.
said what did I say? Friday the 13th.
It's Jason.
But the
That's
original
Jason.
Nightmare on Elm Street is also just
Yeah,
fucking terrible.
yeah, it is.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp is in it.
Oh.
That. Well, see, I never watch any of these movies, so I don't get it. I mean, I know the songs because to me they're scary Halloween music that you play in a bar to freak
Right,
people
right,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never watch these movies, so I don't know.
I watched that once when I was in the 4th grade,
No,
and
oh,
I was just literally destroyed for life to scary movies, and I
No.
just can't.
Aaron, The Exorcist was actually those outdoor shots were actually filmed in Georgetown. The Georgetown.
Can we see
songs.
the link there?
The
Aaron
inside may have been
link?
Pasadena, but all the external shots are really in Georgetown, and that house actually exists. Right.
Yeah, we can hang on. I can get this
But
one.
Michael Myers' house is supposed to be in somewhere in Indiana or in Illinois, and that one is in Pasadena. But the
Oh, he's got us go to this link.
yes, Halloween is Pasadena. But Georgetown is where she is in, and that's one of the reasons that I like to go to. One of the things I do in DC when I visit is I go on Georgetown and I do like sights from The Exorcist just to scare myself, because that staircase really I know none of you have probably seen The Exorcist, but that staircase really exists from The Exorcist.
So that's Michael Myers' home.
Yes, and it was a real house in Pasadena. They've remodeled this one because they had too many people around.
Sure, I can believe that.
And they were supposed to be across the street from each other, but I think in real life they were next door to each other. It was like a big trick. I don't know. I just for Halloween this year I went to Zia Records, and I got it the Blu-ray special deluxe edition with like 19,000 commentaries. Right. And because I'm such a nerd, I listen to every single commentary.
That's
so
too
if
scary.
you want to know where they got the leaf that blew across the street, I can give you its like genealogy. Like, it's that scary.
Pretty much.
I have no life. So Clayton, what did you do?
This is like the third time he said, "What have you done?" as he kept going with other stuff that he'd done. Doesn't make any difference. What was this week? What does feel like stuff has happened? What has happened? Trying to make sure I'm not recapping what we did last week.
Last week was Thanksgiving.
I know, but they blur together.
Yeah.
Yes, last week was Thanksgiving.
You may have given thanks for something this week, just spontaneously.
Well, I know one thing that I did do yesterday, and we all like doing things twice just to make sure they're done properly, right? So I go to Mom's house.
Didn't like doing it the first time. Can't imagine why I do it again.
I went to Mom's.
Just cross my fingers.
I went to Mom's and I had negotiated. I'm coming up to do the Christmas lights. Can we have spaghetti? She said yes. She gets it. I get there. It's all good. I get there to do the lights, and I saved the lights from last year, and I go inside her house and I plug them in, and they're perfect.
Okay.
Every fucking light works perfectly.
Wow, it's like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
And I put all the lights up, and I got the timer and everything, and a third of those fucking lights won't come on. So I'm like, fuck it. And I drove to Home
It's a
Depot.
two-third Christmas.
I drove to Home
how it's
Depot.
gonna be.
You get Santa without his legs.
It's diabetic Christmas. What do you want, Timmy? I want my legs back.
All right, you're the clear winner of this episode.
This is so sad.
The
I can
diabetic,
see. I got legs.
but no retinas because they detach because of my glaucoma.
Anyway, went to Home Depot, bought 2 new strands of lights, rehung the motherfuckers, and they're all on, and that's good. But oh my God. My favorite part was like, Mom was like, well, that didn't take you long. Well, yeah, but third of them don't work, so I got to do it again. So now it's going to take me twice as long because I have to rip the
She had
fuckers
time to
down.
make soup, so really you're a winner.
I showed up with food. It all worked out well.
It's good stuff.
Then I found out today that I have to now. I was going to San Diego already this weekend, but now I got a phone call. I have to make a side trip. Now I have to go to LA Friday and wait till a restaurant closes at 8 p.m.
That sounds.
Well, stop and visit Harrison and maybe hook
Or
up with Aaron.
Yeah.
Look, people,
You got a lot. You're very busy.
I know, I'm very busy. So I've got to rewire this restaurant at 8 p.m. on Friday. When I'm done with that in an hour, 2 hours, go directly from there to San Diego.
We should still say hi to Harrison.
Well, I
It's
can,
just rude
I can
not.
text her. I can text her. Well,
We
actually,
can meet you at the restaurant for a drink.
I'm driving. Don't I drive past Pasadena to get to LA?
I have no idea.
Or is it
no
north?
idea.
I forget.
Well, it depends because the term LA is used so loosely. Where are you going in LA?
I'm going to West Hollywood.
Oh, okay. So you're going to West Hollywood, not to LA. They're very different.
Aaron pointed it out. It's very true.
Oh,
See
oh,
how
oh.
you make people feel?
Oh, see,
It's rude. It's just rude.
just rude. No, but I always say that too because until Harrison's graduation, I had been
I like it.
I had been a foreigner to the downtown LA experience, but I decided to stay in Hilton Checkers in downtown LA near Disney's Hoo-Ha, whatever they call it, the Opera House. And
Nothing.
downtown LA is fantastic now and lovely and lots of things to do and parks to go to and the
All sounds charming.
the fabric warehouse sewing place district is I'm sure they have
the
a better name for
garment
it.
district.
Yeah.
There it is. The word's accessories, dear.
The fabric, whatever. Yeah.
Of our lives.
But there's just, there's so
Fashion
much
district.
to do down there, and it's just recently that I've learned that there's parts of the LA experience I have no use for, and parts that I really enjoy.
Right.
Like when people tell me they're going to LA, but they mean Santa Monica. No, say Santa Monica, and I'll go with you. LA? No, I'm not in.
Yeah, but now you could be in.
Santa Monica, I'm in.
But now you said LA. Good things are happening in
Good,
downtown
good
LA.
things. Like West Hollywood, I'm kind of done with. I've been there, done that, seen it, walked the dog, did the musical, read the book. You know what I mean?
I really like Malibu.
Well, because you're brought up right.
I don't want to drive that far.
What is it,
So
Pepperdine University that
beautiful.
sits up on the
Yeah,
hill?
Yeah.
I remember the
beautiful.
first time I drove past it, I'm like, you know what? I always get annoyed when people tell me where they went to college because who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You're not, after 23, it's irrelevant. And then I
Yeah.
saw that school and I'm like, but you could mention Pepperdine.
Unless
'cause that's-
you went there.
They got a front lawn
Oh.
that you would just kill to mow.
Probably.
It is.
It's a challenge. It's on a
just
hill leading to the
beautiful.
ocean.
Oh.
Oh, I know. A
It
rider
overlooks.
mower with a stick shift. It's like porn to him. Watch his hands.
True.
Almost.
There's the Malibu Beach Inn is like over the Malibu Beach Inn. The stilts on your rooms go literally out into the sand, like, and the water crashes underneath them. I've stayed only once, and it was just glorious.
Santa Monica and Malibu are just magical places.
so wonderful.
Santa Barbara, all the white
Oh,
people
Santa
cities along the
Barbara.
coast.
Oh, I know what else happened to me this week. I got
All
my
the places where nice white people gather.
I got my
They're so nice.
I got my new renewed passport in with I got the card for the first time. The card just the ID card, the passport card that enables you to go across, is that Mexico and
Canada? Yeah.
The Canada. But I got all that, so now I'm well on my way to get ready for this whole trip thing to, where am I going? Auckland, New Zealand in next year.
I know my
forgot you
passport
were doing
expires in
that.
12 short months, so
No,
I gotta be on that soon. Oh, and look at Aaron lives mid Wilshire. Wilshire, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and there are lots of great restaurants. And 3rd Street, the farmers market.
Aaron, do you know where
La Cienega?
Oddly, that's where I'm going. I'm going just down from Santa Monica on La Cienega. It's a place called Soda Pops. It's a little sandwich shop. Aaron, that's where I'm going actually in LA.
I like that you're talking to the screen like he's up there.
Oh,
Well, no, I just want to see if he
Like
was going
you're
to
talking
respond.
to the video feed
Always
of
going
Aaron.
to be one of my favorite stories. Always. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Fantastic.
And if you pronounce it in Spanish, I was pretty close. Cienega is not close.
Just drop it.
No, because E's are like, it should be Cienega.
Which,
If you're not standing in front of a black person, it's not offensive.
And if you don't say it too fast, maybe.
took me a second, but I'm glad that you helped me get there.
Standing outside a 7-Eleven with a big security guard going, I'm looking for La Cienega. You want to say that again?
Yeah, I don't think I'd say that to an armed person
Yeah.
in a grocery. It's another story where I come out great.
Oh, yeah. He's driven by.
And fucking
With-
Mr. Tagamochi or whatever his name is.
Tomo, we don't have a specific date yet on when I'm going to be there, but it's sometime in 15.
Oh, and I'm gonna be there too. Don't you worry.
Apparently, Al's coming with me to make sure that my bags are checked and ready to go home at a moment's notice should he decide to stay. Okay, it is about 1:45 the hour. We are going to take a break and come back with headlines so that we get more going on this show. It's the Q Talk America Cavalcade of Fun. We call it the show
Cavalcade.
Parenthetically, see you next Tuesday.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Are you ready for this? It's a 30-second dance break.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Okie dokie, kids. It's a little bit of headlines coming at you right here on Q Talk America Tuesday night in Studio C with the show. A bar owner's response to an ignorant customer.
Honey, can I get you a chicken sandwich?
Man charged for sunbathing in the nude.
This anaconda don't want none.
And college used strippers to lure students.
No to the gays.
Pigeon shit problem really piles up.
An HIV pill that stirs controversy.
And a look at how grand juries reach their actual decision. Well, apparently I stepped on one of your stories. Right?
Just be ready because shit's going down on one of her stories.
Oh.
And for those that are following, I did go wash my hands between killing the bugs and eating finger food.
Okay.
I thought about that for a hot second. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go find soap and water and
This house has it.
in the manse. Yeah.
Has it everywhere.
In the man.
I don't know if you've seen this. Apparently Marnie has because she just threw the story away. A bar owner has smacked down a company's booking for a Christmas party after they asked whether the venue was gay or not. Alex Proud, which I think is funny that his name is Proud. Alex Proud, who runs Proud chain of venues in Camden and in central London, tweeted the exchange with this big corporation. An email from a major international car company, which he says will remain nameless, says, quote, we have our Christmas staff party booked for next Friday at Proud. Some of our staff have been told that Proud is a gay bar. Is that correct? We need to know, as it's against some people's religion, so we want to make sure that we make them aware. Will we have our own seating, or we have our own seating area? And if you could, get back to us ASAP, that would be great. Well, Mr. Proud, in a lovely way, responded with a perfect smackdown saying, quote, I think it best we cancel your visit. We are pretty gay with a lot of gay stuff happening here. Gay drinks, gay food, gay restrooms,
Christmas
etc.
is gay. It says it in every song.
Sorry to disappoint you, but your booking is now canceled. All the best, Alex. He later tweeted, quote, some big companies who will, again, remain anonymous, tolerate homophobia. We do not, and you should not. I thought that was fantastic. Just literally.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
More people were like, that is funny, but I
Our
just love
food
that.
is so gay. Our drinks are so gay.
Everything.
A lot of gay things happening
I
here.
was reading
Little
comments.
rum and eggnog. I'm gay.
I was reading comments that were following, the whole thing, and one of the guys says, better move the chairs and tables. If they bump into them, it's going to rub off on them.
Yeah, they might catch
Not
the
literally.
gay.
Well, yeah, no.
You can catch
They could catch the gay.
They might.
Yeah, fucktards.
I caught it from HBO. I'm just telling you.
Sure you did.
I would have been a heterosexual had I not been raised with HBO.
No.
I just.
You could have. You'd had a fighting
I
chance.
don't think there was a heterosexual.
Maybe without HBO, and if there was never a Donna Summer.
I was gonna say maybe.
Barbra Streisand, Bette Midler.
Okay, never mind. The trifecta has.
Yeah,
I
because
know.
I certainly didn't find Barbra Streisand or Donna Summer on HBO. That Liza and Bette Midler, though,
I like that.
their numbers are legion on HBO. Go ahead.
Well,
Maria.
This guy, Margaret.
No, whatever.
This guy's a McAsshole. He used a McDonald's McChicken sandwich as a weapon against his pregnant wife.
Oh, charming.
And now, typically, we'd say only in Florida, but no.
We promised people Florida
We'll say-
today.
understand
I have a
that.
Florida story.
But
Okay.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you do, because this is
I made promises.
Iowa, the other Florida.
The other white meat.
That's right. We castrate people in Iowa. An Iowa man is in jail today for reportedly wielding a McDonald's McChicken sandwich as a weapon against his pregnant wife, solely based on the fact that he threw it at her because he doesn't like him. The police arrested him for simple domestic assault and took him to the Polk County Jail. From the Des Moines Register, police met with Hill at the couple's home in the 1400 block, and he told it was actually his wife who assaulted him. Hill said his wife woke him up around 1 p.m. with a McChicken sandwich in hand. He admitted to police that he became upset and threw the sandwich at her, then picked up some of the bun, throwing it at her again. The woman went to the bathroom to clean herself up, but Hill followed her and began recording her using his cell phone, which he later shared with police. And then she knocked the phone out of his hands. So he's claiming, that she's the abuser. Hill's wife had mayonnaise on her shirt. Clearly, he's the one. And faced when officers located her. According to the woman, he had forcefully smashed the bun into her face.
And the bun's the best part. Otherwise,
And-
you're eating chicken parts.
No, that's just
real
it.
bread. That's the
Chicken-
only 100% real anything.
The
Chicken
whole
parts.
story is
All right, well,
very
parts
sad.
of some
Alleged.
one of God's creatures.
It's a very sad story, and it does make him a McAsshole. But it looks like he has it shoved into
In his mouth. He's hiding evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, chipmunk.
That's
Chipmunk.
right.
does.
He's hiding evidence
He's
right here.
withholding evidence.
That's right. He's going to be charged formally for that as well. A lawyer has not been identified yet. Only in Iowa.
I wonder if
Joni Ernst
Mayor
castrated
McCheese
him.
is going to come out and defend him.
Could be.
Could be.
It very well.
The
could happen.
Hamburglar, Grimace,
The
anybody.
Grimace is running amok.
He doesn't know what to do. Oh, this one's a good one, and just in time for what do you say, Aaron? I don't know. And I already responded to him about
Oh,
this.
good.
Yeah. So if you read what I typed,
I can't do two things at once. We've already learned
you're
that.
not your sister. Good God. A judge is issuing an arrest warrant for a 77-year-old Utah man who police say was sunbathing nude in his backyard next to a church parking lot. A court record showed that the $5,000 cash-only warrant was issued after Myron Kipp failed to show up at a court hearing in his lewdness case. Now, the Farmington man has pleaded not guilty, previously to 7 misdemeanor counts of lewdness, 4 of which involve a child.
We're pretty much guilty of lewdness. We just forgot the children.
Defense attorney William Albright
Thankfully.
didn't immediately return the message seeking comment. However, police say Kip's neighbors reported he was sunbathing nude in his backyard March 5th. His yard has a chain link fence with no privacy slats.
Come on now. At first I was going to say I do that, but I don't do that.
Yeah.
Police say several parents said their children could see him, but Kip told an officer that he could do whatever the hell he wanted to do on his property.
Oh,
You don't like, you no look.
At 77, I don't think anybody gonna like.
No.
Nobody.
You're just looking to see balls hit the knees.
I think dogs are gonna try to bury it. I mean, this is it dead?
From your mouth to God's ears.
There we go.
One of the stray cats, unrelated.
Do they
sort of.
strut?
Wow.
One of the, yes, they do.
All right.
One of the stray cats that's like using my house as some kind of natural habitat. Not house, yard.
Okay.
Right.
I'm confusing my terms. Brought a dead animal to thank me for letting me
Stop.
Let him stay
stand
there.
Oh,
Sure.
fuck me. I had to pick up what's left of a bird and put it, and they did it at the door. So you know what I mean. You know it's a gift when it comes
Absolutely.
to the door.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
They
true.
were grateful that I didn't spray them with the hose this time. Well, they put the lotion on, so really it was the only way
She
to go.
puts the lotion in the basket.
By the way,
Well, Mariah is really on it. She got a Silence of the Lamb reference like lightning fast.
Fast.
again, I haven't
right.
seen it, so I wouldn't have got it. I have a parting gift for you that may help.
I got fired?
no, no, but I mean,
You're
as
out.
you
That's
as
my
you
last
can
week on
happen.
Q Talk.
as you depart this fine studio tonight, I actually, to use the term that you hate, I inherited something that will help
from-
you in these bird instances.
Oh,
Yes,
that? What?
I will show you later.
I'm confused.
I will show
One
you later.
dead bird in 6 years, and now
And
I
I
have
actually,
a device.
and I'm thinking about sending one home with you too, Marnie, because you could probably use it too. Not for birds, but for other things.
Molly says they do that because they don't think you can find food for yourself. Molly, these are not blind cats. They see that I eat.
That's funny.
It's pretty clear to everyone
Molly.
involved.
At least they're thoughtful.
They're
Yeah.
just trying to help.
He looks hungry.
He does.
A for-profit Florida college.
Isn't it her turn?
No, it didn't. I thought I just did it.
God, pee
You
all
just
over
did it.
her.
I thought you just did it. Did you?
Nope, she didn't.
Then go. God damn it.
All right.
So memorable.
Well, there's a little story about an anaconda.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that? Remember I talked about it a couple weeks ago with
Yeah.
the douche nozzle that was going to like paint himself in pig's blood and had a snake suit made for himself. And he's going to be on the Discovery Channel.
And it may be, what is the correct date today?
It was yesterday or
It was
the day
yesterday.
before?
It's the
yeah.
7th, December
Yeah,
7th.
It didn't happen.
Right. And
It didn't happen. This is really what the Discovery Channel is kind of saying. It wasn't big enough, the snake. And they apparently, by the way, babe, this is an NPR story. I just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, and,
I just did
Marty's
that.
girl, I got a lot. This makes me hate PETA even
more. The outcome of an outlandish TV stunt Sunday didn't go down well with many viewers.
Yeah,
as they
people
were
were pissed.
They were pissed. Seriously, makes me laugh. There was
Oh,
one-
I'm ready. I'm ready for this fight.
There was someone in here in one of the things that I read that was on Twitter that said only in America do that many people get up in arms about someone not being eaten by the snake.
It's so funny.
It was so true. They were duped into expecting that the Discovery special, Eaten Alive, would actually portray a man being ingested by an anaconda. It
People
didn't
wanted to
happen.
But it already happened.
Genuinely tune in and watch
But
someone
it already happened.
eaten.
The film already exists. It was not live.
Oh.
It was taped, and it has already happened. So read your part, because I am livid about this. This is
Forcing the network to defend the program today by saying it had been this Paul Rosalie's absolute intention to be eaten alive. The 2-hour show aired to intense interest. More than 20 million people watched the YouTube trailer for the special. We're going to get me inside of a snake, Paul Rosalie said. You have to go in to do this. I have to go in head first. Comments like those and a steady stream of the trailers in this crush-proof suit that he kept showing led viewers to believe they would see a green anaconda wrap itself around Rosalie and swallow him on Sunday Night Show, feeding himself to the snake. After the snake didn't seem to find Rosalie very appetizing, and he called for help when he feared that his arm was about to break. This Rosalie guy, he was kind of a pansy. The hashtag Eaten Alive became a place for viewers to vent their frustration and make jokes at the show's expense. you had one job is really what the big tagline was kind of going after. All you had to do was get eaten alive. You disappointed. You did not get eaten alive.
Oh my God.
And there were, like I said, I showed this with a tiny little snake,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It was interesting. I did not tune in to watch it because I'm a
either.
little fearful of
It was
snakes to
yeah,
begin
and
with.
it was a plea for the habitat of the snake, and he was saying
Putting new attention on the anaconda's rainforest habitat.
he was saying,
Right.
"Fuck PETA. You got 25,000 to sign your petition to save this one snake. He has 153 signatures to save the Amazon where the snakes live. You don't give a shit about animals. You give a shit about your pet."
Okay.
This is the rainforest I'm trying to save. It's a much bigger picture, and he went through with it to get PETA to shut the fuck up and
Okay.
save
Wait,
the
I'm confused.
rainforest.
So wait, what happened? So
That's
PETA was
interesting, 'cause I
trying to
did not
save
see
the
that.
snake.
PETA was trying to saying the snake was going to be injured. Snakes often
Dr. Ben Carlson is in.
Yeah, snakes often throw up, and then they're often interrupted during meals, and they throw it up and they start over, and they throw it up and they start over.
Right.
And then people
Yeah.
were, and PETA started the thing because anacondas don't eat humans. They do eat humans. They eat animals like deer that are much larger than
Huge.
humans.
Yeah.
And that said, PETA said that it was a shameful stunt because
Right,
the,
and PETA, fuck,
the crew
fuck,
put the
fuck,
snake
fuck
through
PETA.
undeniable
That organization
stress
needs to go under my foot
and
like a
robbed
fucking
her
gnat.
of essential bodily resources. She was
It
forced
did
to
not.
constrict and then not allowed to eat. That was what
And
their
they
big
fed
deal
her
was.
so
right
PETA was
after.
upset.
Right.
So PETA's upset because PETA's a closed-minded little fucking organization that I can't fucking stand. I hate
Yeah,
those
tell us
people.
what you really think,
I
Al.
hate them.
He's holding back.
And no, I am not, because I just read an interview with him today, and he said, fuck PETA. If you love animals, and you're going to join my thing, but you're not getting one person to sign this petition to save the rainforest and stop deforestation. And
So is that
stop-
what his whole thing was
Yes.
about?
It
To
was
bring
the
attention?
whole point of it, but fucking PETA stood in the way and were like, oh my God, there's a snake going to be hurt. It was not going to be hurt. It eats much larger animals, and they often throw up and are not throw up, but they stop eating
Yeah.
and they get rid of it if they're interrupted or if there's a sense of danger. They can't lay there and eat
the
a
eating
wild
process
boar.
for
Right,
any
right.
snake is very lengthy. I
It's
used to
very
have
lengthy.
a pet
and
snake,
and because the snake
and it's
is
like a whole
swallowing
day that you're going to feed the snake is like a day. I'm feeding my snake today.
That would leave them in grave danger to predators if they knew that they were there. So they will stop, regurgitate what they haven't eaten, and go on. So whatever point he got to, the people pulled him out. And he said he wanted to make sure that his head was swallowed, because to him, eating alive meant my head was swallowed. And
Right.
it got as far as mid-body,
Yeah,
according to
because
what
it-
I've
Oh,
heard.
they
Paul
he
created
really
this
did.
challenge.
No, he went through it. He did it months ago,
Oh.
and it was for the rainforest. But because they advertised it, and it was to raise support for the rainforest, and fucking PETA, who really does not like it, they're just assholes.
Yeah, they just want to be like
Ugh. They're-
contrarians and just be like crabby.
oh my God, the dog day. There's people's lives at risk. I like that you like animals, but
Yeah.
there's a food chain here, people. The circle of life.
There
And
is
the
a
more
food
important
chain.
thing is that if you like animals, then you want their habitat preserved.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about one fucking snake. It's about
Sure.
the whole big picture. And PETA's just run by stupid people who cry at Bambi. I am so sorry about this.
Which is animated.
But I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry either. It's people that are like, the people that protest a natural wildfire, like nature's way of like
Right.
helping like wild brush and stuff like that. Like wildfires happen more often now, but they're a part
Naturally.
of the natural cycle of life, and they'll be like, no, don't do a burn. Yes, we have to do a burn. PETA objects to they're just stupid. It's just stupid people that cry at animal movies that don't get the big picture. And this
I
guy
digress
said,
because I cried.
this guy, no, I do too. Well, I don't,
I
but I
credit
do.
Harry and the
No, I
Hendersons.
mean,
is
like,
that
come
an
on.
But
animal
I got to
movie?
tell you, 159 signatures is
All the
what
time.
they raised to save the habitat. But they got 25,000 people to save the snake, not realizing that without the
Sure.
Amazon, you
don't
don't
have
have
a
this
snake,
fucking
right,
snake.
Right.
Yeah, because
Just, ugh.
the Paul.
they
who
just
did
And I
missed
this-
read
the
this interview
point.
today on the toilet, and I have to tell you, I was livid.
Yeah.
Is the toilet a
you were.
newspaper, or is
Because
that
when-
actually where you were?
What they have on here
I'm concerned
Everyone
about that.
cries at Bambi.
was Paul created this challenge to get maximum attention for one of the most beautiful and threatened parts of the world, the
Right.
Amazon rainforest. And
It
its
is
wildlife.
crazy, Marnie's girl, but it's also important that we save the rainforest. And because PETA stands in the way of shit like this, he said, find the interview with him. He tells you why he did it, because PETA got 25,000 signatures for saving this snake, and they only raised 159 to save the snake's habitat. If you really love animals, you want their habitat safe.
Right.
So PETA is standing in the way of this.
Yeah.
It
No,
was a
that's
strange idea, but it was something that got...
It's not in this NPR.
But it
Because
got-
you're not going to... Because he said, it's like anything else. Until you burn it down, you're not going to get attention. A quiet protest, a bunch of
Or
vegetarians
just like some
standing...
random guy saying, "I love the Amazon rainforest."
Right. It's not going to get
once he-
attention.
But I mean, it
But
makes
if he
good
says,
sense
"I'm gonna
that once
put
he
on a
says,
snake
"I'm
suit
gonna
again,
eaten
put
by a
myself-
be
snake,"
eaten alive," then you
and
get
put pig's
random.
blood all over me.
And PETA should have been in
Random
conjunction
Joes.
with him saying, this is stupid and completely retarded, because now I'm just going to offend everybody. It's stupid and completely retarded, but if you're raising awareness of the rainforest and the importance of this to our environment, that is the point. And PETA just gets lost on stupid shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Of it instead
Yeah.
of the bigger picture.
Right.
And Aaron from LA brings up a
You're
lovely
burning
point.
down you're letting the forest go to save one tree.
Rainforests provide
You're seeing
oxygen.
the anaconda.
Just
You're
a-
not seeing the
no.
anaconda through the trees.
There it is. Without the rainforest and the tree line up in the Antarctic, you don't have oxygen on the fucking planet.
Right.
So you
Very
know what?
scary.
Get eaten by the snake if it makes people go from PETA to signing in a
Sure.
thing something to save the rainforest.
Sure.
'Cause I'm not an animal lover. But you save the environment. Like, I don't get why people are so lost on one puppy when you're trying to save the forest. It just fucking pisses me
I
off.
just can't see the anaconda through the trees.
We'll ramble on more about this in a minute. It's the crossover. We're coming back with our drinking word. Al will give us that in just a moment. Continuing on with some headlines, then we'll do some more stuff, because that's what we do. Join us in the chat room if you can. If you can't, get a drink. I
You
don't know
didn't
what
think
to tell
that
you.
was the story that was going to piss me off, did you?
We'll find another one, I'm sure.
I did not. I did not.
You've been listening to the show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's the show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Well, hi, everybody. Once again, it is Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Katie June. Marnie Ryer. Al Perkins ran to wash his hands or something. I'm not sure where the hell he is. He's somewhere here in the midst.
I heard he was writing an email to PETA.
Oh, probably so.
Yeah, he might be making a phone call.
Well, he's very busy. Well,
He is so busy.
Lots to do. Lots going on. We're in the middle of our headline segment, and Al just about had a coronary over the PETA thing of the rainforest. We'll get back into that again, I'm sure. All kinds of things happening. We got just a few more shows left in the rest of the year, just like you guys have a few more weeks left. So we will be here every single Tuesday, maybe not the entire cast, but most all of us. I'll be here because without me, the show does not air. So at least
without
I'll
Al, it
be
would be
here.
very quiet.
Yeah, he might be. Not,
Oh, you've done it without me. Shut up.
he might not be on the 23rd, but we're not sure. So tune in to find out.
Dr. Ben Carlson, I do not need a parenthetical cat to know who the fuck you are. I am insulted.
For those of you looking for that fifth member of our cast, Kat Carlson has the night off, but she's in the fucking chat room. Why? What's going on with
She's
that?
very, very
She
busy.
said she was busy. She didn't say she didn't have the internet.
Well, I'd like to know why she can fuck around on the chat room and not be here.
Yeah, somebody better
Suck
drive
it.
their
I'm
ass there.
kidding.
Maybe she's babysitting deaf children.
It does-
Suck it.
Yeah, because we know how well it goes over when the younger version listens.
Yes, it does go over very well. It certainly does.
You want to watch that kid pee his pants again? Listen to this show.
Why does she say bad words?
But anyways, Google the guy. What's the guy's name that got
Paul
swallowed?
Rosalie.
Google him and find him because he has a link for
I'm
his
gonna do
petition to save the rainforest.
It's Rosolie. Rosalie. I
And
believe.
his
Rosalie?
organization that's really working hard to preserve the rainforest.
Gotcha. All right, it's the
great-
beginning
they're
of
a great
hour
group.
2, and what we normally do is this. We start it with the drinking word, and here is the disclaimer.
And now, a drink along. We dare you to stay awake during this royalty-free music and to play a drinking game with us. If you are currently or soon to be driving a car, you cannot play. If you are presently the primary caregiver for children and or the elderly, you may desperately want to play, but no. If you are listening from a rehab facility, you are disqualified because you already hit bottom. And that means you already won this game at least once. If playing this game is in any way illegal for you, put the bottle down and make better life choices. There is no good in your goodbye, and there is no lifeguard on duty, so you will be swimming at your own risk. Tell your lawyer to take the fucking day off. You can't sue us. We warned you. Good luck.
Well, I deleted it last week, but in honor of the live Peter Pan, our drinking word, which I thought of in August, I've never got to use, is swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler.
Yep, go ahead. Let's work on spelling that. So he can.
Oh, it's easy. It's like it sounds.
Just like a swash and buckler.
Swashbuckler.
Very good.
Swashbuckle. I mean,
Can you use that in a
look up and
sentence?
you're like,
I'm expecting creativity. I'm as drunk as a swashbuckler.
There you go. Well, Aaron thinks it should be anaconda. So what? No,
And
I'm
a
not only-
swashbuckling anaconda would really be my dream word.
I'm
There you go.
not.
I
I'm not
like
only
it.
tired of hearing that about the story and that whole thing, with the exception of the fact that of the rainforest.
Sure.
That's the better part of this.
Yeah.
But I'm just tired of hearing the word anaconda because I really can't stand the remake of the song.
Oh, I
that
can't either.
What their fucks did. I can't
Is
stand
that,
it. I hear
what's
it
it- what the-
way too
Wait,
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
I
What
can't.
did she?
She's an idiot.
She's
What did she redo?
she.
Anaconda don't want
no,
She
no, no,
did-
no.
she redid that?
She samples that into her anaconda song, which is about her ass being as large as a Buick.
She is so
And
ridiculous.
it's ridiculous.
To
and
new
I just am
listeners,
tired-
I want to
ridiculous.
tell you that we know the difference between a sample and a remake. I just want to reassure
No,
listeners
right.
that.
But she samples that.
You're not listening to the cooking show where they don't know what limon is.
I think all the people that listen to that show no longer listen.
That original song, though, we're not debating
Oh, the
the
original song is
amazingness
fine.
of the
Right,
original.
the original song, no. But anything
Okay.
that piece of trash does,
Yeah, that's
I've no.
true.
Yeah,
And then
Nicki
just-
Minaj is just not.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
have time
she's
for
got
it.
an ick factor that goes up the charts.
We were smack talking Sir Mix-a-Lot for a second.
But
No,
I got
no,
to
no,
tell
no.
you,
That was gonna
just
be
when
a
you thought
problem.
that song was going to fade into obscurity,
Nope.
the fact that that was the only song that got Ross and Rachel's kid to sleep
Isn't that funny?
was one of the
Yeah.
funniest episodes
I forgot
ever.
that.
They had to sing "My Anaconda Don't Want None of This" to get the kid to sleep
I
was
remember
just
that.
pure genius.
It's a shame the kid
The one
wasn't a
thing me and
swashbuckler.
all of the greater swath of
Oh,
America
nice
has in
job.
common is we all loved Friends.
Yeah.
It is true.
For the most part, yes. Okay.
Cosby on
All
that
right,
show?
I'll
No,
accept.
it's not.
Oh, I have a Cosby joke ready too. I think I'll think of it later.
Well.
I'll accept Anaconda as well as Swashbuckler, but I want Swashbuckler
Swashbuckling anaconda.
because I think a
Swashbuckle
swashbuckler.
yourselves.
That's right.
See, there you go. She used it correctly.
Well,
in a
here's a
sentence.
story that talks about swashbucklers.
So there you go.
A for-profit Florida college used exotic dancers as admissions officers, falsified documents, and coached students to lie on financial forms as it fraudulently obtained millions of dollars in federal money, according to a federal lawsuit filed in Miami, Florida. On at least one of its 7 campuses, Fast Train College, which is a very odd name for a college anyway, purposely hired attractive women and sometimes exotic dancers and encouraged them to dress provocatively while they recruited young men in neighborhoods to attend Fast
boy.
Train College.
This is what gays are accused
Now,
of.
according to an ongoing civil lawsuit, that's what they claim. Now, the Florida Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney in Miami announced last Wednesday, that they were joining the lawsuit against the now defunct Fast Train College and its former owner, Alejandro Amor. Amor of Coral Gables was criminally indicted in October and
That's
faces...
Amor.
That's swashbuckler. He was indicted in October and faces pending charges of conspiracy and theft of government money. A telephone message left at a listing for Amor was not immediately returned. Now, the complaint says Miami-based Fast Train and Amor bilked the U.S. Department of Education out of millions of dollars and falsified grant applications from at least January of 09 through
Build, yes.
January of 09 through June of 12, when the school closed, oddly, after an FBI raid. Now, the
If
school
your
is...
college gets an FBI raid, I think you get bonus points.
Right.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
now the school is accused of falsifying high school diplomas for students who did not have them.
Oh, no.
Because they never graduated from high school, the lawsuit contends the students would never have qualified for student aid to begin with. To access taxpayer dollars, the school needed first-time students to attend class. I didn't realize this. They needed students to attend class for 30 days, and if they didn't, Fast Train falsified attendance records or backdated the enrollment so that they could then collect the money quicker.
Oh, for the love of God. Where were these people when I was at Buff State?
Yeah, no shit. Some former Fast Train College students say that they are still struggling with student loan debts, and the lawsuit identifies more than 160 former students who are now in default. Now, those who were attending around the time of the FBI raid can get their loans completely discharged under a closed school provision. But I just think that's crazy They would go out and they would seek people who could. There's no way they could get into college, never graduated, and then falsify docs. And somebody was just like funneling money to these people. Like there's no check and balance in this. I'm sure there is now.
There is no checks and balance to any kind of student loan program whatsoever,
horrible.
except for if you don't want to pay them back. The people giving you the
Then
money,
they're gonna check you.
Oh, then they're going to check you and balance you, weigh you, sell you. Like, ugh. Anyways,
That's crazy. But at least the students who are at this point.
but hey, you didn't graduate from high school and you got to college. Take the money.
That's insane.
No, but they never got the money. The school intercepted the money.
Well, right. I mean, you pass it on, but you got into college if it was, so you got bribed by a third party. Who cares?
They get into college, they got nothing. They're just they got millions of dollars worth of debt collectively. So that'll all get taken. And hopefully this Amor will find Amor in prison as a new swashbuckler.
Well, he will. He'll be
good
swashbuckler.
one.
He's going to be a
Clayton.
swashbuckling
To be swashbuckled.
anaconda.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
Yes.
it.
He's
He's going to get the anaconda.
Somebody's gonna have time to polish his buckle.
I didn't want to interrupt a pun that I knew was coming. And you know
Bend
what?
over, swashbuckle. I
Yeah,
got an anaconda to show you.
It's the first pun I've ever enjoyed right there.
No, it's not the first
Sat through the whole thing.
Sometimes you think I'm funny.
Oh.
I did right then. I don't have to use my memory.
Can you just go ahead and mark that down?
Enjoy that moment, Ryer.
Big deal. That's Margaret.
Oh, you're always.
Yes, that's
Don't make
lovely.
me regret being nice.
Oh, my bad. So
I want that written on my tombstone.
Yeah, me too.
Someone made me regret being nice.
Al thought I was funny. That's what I want.
Oh, hey.
I know.
That's catchy.
I like it. So there's a new pill to fight HIV. Have you guys heard of
Is it
Truvada?
Truvada.
Truvia is a little
Truvia.
different, I believe.
I don't know.
Yep. Truvada. And it's stirring controversy among gays. That's what kind of caught my eye about
Yeah.
Right,
this.
because the color of the pill doesn't go with anything you wear.
Well, it doesn't match.
Well, I have
mean,
a
it should be
swashbuckling
like
outfit
a-
that is certainly
Great.
I look just like Christopher Walken.
Back in the day, in
can't
the
plunder
80s,
and marauder in this.
when an AIDS diagnosis was tantamount to a death sentence,
Ooh,
as we had
tantamount.
talked about.
That's,
She paid $20 for that word, people, and there was no
It's a good
change.
one.
Right, everybody
Yeah.
get real happy. But it would protect, the idea of something protecting against HIV, huge, right? Well, today they have this Truvada. It is a blue tablet, so you do have to dress accordingly. But it is available to people at risk of being exposed to HIV, and it has been since 2012, apparently. I thought it was weird because I've not heard of this before.
It's been going around the gay boy pages for a while.
Okay.
There's another one.
it can be-
fanboy,
it
gay
can
boy.
be-
He knows all the boy pages.
Different pages.
I realize.
One has
It's-
swashbucklers, one does not.
One just has anacondas.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Strangely, anacondas in both.
I see.
It's a sausage party.
They call it grinder.
Wow.
The pill can be highly effective. It reduces the infection by as much as 92%, which that huge. It could have a dramatic effect. It talks about in the LA County area where about 47,000 people are known to live with HIV, just as an example. It's no longer a death sentence, and we talked about that.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few times, but last week or 2 weeks ago with National AIDS Day.
Right, the candlelight vigil.
Or World's AIDS Day, excuse
Yeah.
me. But the
Citywide
county
AIDS Day.
still-
We can keep going lower.
That's right.
This room AIDS Day.
The county still reports more than 1,000 new
Al's AIDS
HIV
Day.
infections each year. The concept of using the pill is stirring a debate in the gay community, with longtime activists calling this Truvada a party drug. Which that was what I thought was
That
really
seems a little bit of
interesting.
that seems like a stretch to
Well,
me. But
it says that people will never take it consistently enough to stave off infections. If not taken daily, the CDC warns protections are
It almost
lower.
sounds like it's equivalent to a morning after pill,
It
if
does
you
sound
will.
like that. Yeah, that's what I was
Very
thinking
fair.
with party drugs.
That's fair.
The skeptics
Fair
talk
point,
about,
Clayton.
and this I think is a really good point as well. The skeptics talk about it as being, instead of a prevention method, or that it's a prevention method that does not emphasize condom use first and foremost.
Right.
And so, it's kind of the morning after pill, Clayton. That's why it's such a great...
Yeah. Eat your chocolate cake, but take this pill for your diabetes
Exactly.
after.
Right.
Or you could just kind
Or
of
you'll have
slow...
a diabetic Christmas.
Right, yeah. Have a diabetic Christmas.
I'm gonna write the words to
I
that
like it.
song.
I know.
I hope
like
next
it.
week to have a folly
Totally.
jolly.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Or-
that one.
I'll dig Burl Ives up and have him sing it.
I couldn't come up with his
and
name.
those-
God, Swashbuckler. I couldn't come up with his name.
Here comes Swashbuckler.
I've been wanting
They-
this word since August.
Oh wow!
My
Those
Christmas
with
gift.
a more sanguine view of the
Ooh.
pill, I do like that.
all over the
I do
Jesus,
like
that was
yeah.
$15. That one.
Totally. Yeah, it's a little bit less.
A little bit less.
They dismiss any tool with the potential to decrease HIV infection rates, and they're saying that it's creeping up among young gay and bisexual men of color.
Which, well,
That's the part that kinda-
the DLs have always been an issue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
And Catholics have a problem, which we won't name a race, but you can figure it out with just a little bit of math.
Right.
They have a problem because contraceptives are more of a sin than out of wedlock sex. Mm-hmm. So they swashbuckle it raw.
Oh.
I'm gonna
was
drink to
very
that
good.
one.
Now,
was
all right,
good.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I wish
I think I'm going to take
had
out
a
my
drink for
sriracha
that
vodka
one.
for that one.
You have no idea. Wait up.
Wait,
And I might add that to my hot cocoa.
Wait a
Sriracha.
goddamn swashbuckling minute.
No,
You're gonna
sriracha
put
hot cocoa.
sriracha. I'm gonna get sick all over again thinking
don't.
about that.
Go that way.
Yep. As we point to the corner, we want you to get sickened. But I
Sriracha
feel
vodka. Is it hot
Smell
sauce
it.
vodka?
No, it's sriracha.
she's not allowed to smell it.
No.
But the bottle's
want
only
to.
colored that. It's the vodka's not red.
Chili pepper vodka.
Okay, you're
that
gonna make yourself
put-
sick. Stop talking about it. But I feel a challenge coming on for the holidays with this
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I agree.
Me, this, and that blender are gonna swashbuckle ourselves into Christmas.
I hope
I'm all about
I
it.
hope I'm
Let's-
But you're out.
absent.
You may not be here on the 23rd.
I will come in for that. Are you kidding me? I feel a challenge. You hand me a new vodka, I will
We have
find
to
you
get
a
a shopping
blender
list.
drink.
All right.
No, I need to go and I need to go Helen Keller the whole grocery store. I gotta touch it, feel it, be it.
No, I know. But we have to give it a shopping
Al-
list, so we have
Al
all the
will be like
makings.
this.
So we have all the makings here
Remember?
in the studio.
When she had
No,
like
but
two. Helen Keller.
Ice
that's
cream
all.
is out,
The
but I
end.
wonder
That's
what
all.
will be in it. Possibly chicken.
What else can you put with that? Chicken. That's about it.
Tortilla chips,
Hey,
I
salsa.
actually put juice with it.
Oh God. Everything
it's
about
delicious.
this.
I feel like you bring in a wet
conversation.
bar every time you come in anymore.
She does.
I feel like
You have a little thing stored
our
below
topic
the-
at hand is very serious, but I feel like there's a tomato juice based blender something or other.
Totally.
Bloody Mary.
Oh, it'd be fantastic, Bloody Mary.
I don't want to go that easy though. I'd like a little
Yeah.
bit
A
more.
blended
challenge.
Bloody Mary.
All right.
Swashbuckler.
All right, for the love of God. He
I'm
does
sure-
not want me to go enjoy the grocery
could
store.
work.
No, but I'm sure there's. No, I want you to enjoy whatever the fuck you want to enjoy.
I wanted to plunder and marauder through the grocery store.
Like a
I know it.
swashbuckler.
Swashbuckle through the store.
If you will.
I knew when I thought of this word in August, it would be funny, and I just deleted it this week. But, then
it's-
Peter Pan came on and
Right, it brought it right back.
live. Peter
I've
Pan
never
live.
tried it with hot
coffee.
cocoa. Hot cocoa.
Spicy coffee. Oh my God! My
right?
bowels hate you, but my mouth loves you.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
And a
Yeah,
little
we're
spicy hot chocolate.
we're gonna lose her. All right, are you done with Truvada? Because I have something to say.
If you're gonna hurl, use that trash can
Seriously,
behind
I
you.
will.
please.
I'll turn.
And
That
if
is-
you've got-
can you just put it behind
you.
you? And I'm not joking.
She
It
mixes-
is- that is so hideous.
She mixes it with Capri Sun.
know.
Oh, by
Atta
the way,
girl.
can I say about Capri Sun?
Yeah.
There has
That's
been.
not Capri Sun, by the way. but
No,
go
no, no.
on.
I'm just saying. You might want to check. There have been some news reports
Really hideous things.
about Capri Sun having mold in the packages. So
It's not Capri Sun. Dumbass.
No,
it's
she was
so
being
good.
sarcastic. But on the
Oh.
other hand, Kahlua. Ooh,
Ooh.
milky spicy. I think
don't
we're gonna lose
know.
Katie on that one.
Yeah.
I
Don.
don't know. I got hot
oh,
chocolate.
milky spicy, you get rum chata. I mean there's another.
I know, but I'm
variable.
not Amish, so I really don't want to go out and fuck things.
all of this is just horrible.
Swashbuckler.
No, I
Swashbuckle raw.
In honor-
I'm sorry about Capri Sun. Go
I know.
ahead.
In honor of my dear friend Gina Cerise, I have to tell you that whenever she would have any kind of a stomach bug, she used to say that the easiest way to get her to throw up was a blue cheese commercial, a blue cheese dressing commercial, because she watched that chunky shit come out of a jar, and you are just ready to hurl.
Oh,
and she
no.
said it was a bulimix. She used to call it the bulimix wet dream. Funny girl, twisted fucker, funny.
I like it.
But Gina used to say that as if you had trouble throwing up, just watch a blue cheese commercial and watch those chunky white shit.
so
come out of the
gross.
jar.
I enjoy
Where
blue
I'm at with
cheese.
that. I do too.
So
Anyway, I
gross.
just thought it was interesting, and since I know nothing about this Truvada,
No,
and
it-
2012, it's been up for a couple.
I didn't
almost 3
either.
years.
It is what's scary to me is I just was at the the Aunt Rita's brunch,
Yeah,
which is their red brunch, which is all about they're raising money, of course, for HIV and AIDS prevention.
And this has to come up in
awareness and-
competition constantly there.
It actually did, but there was another drug that they were talking about, which is interesting, and I'm trying to look it up.
But you can't stop vomiting to do it.
I had to just like take.
Sorry
I had
about
to
that.
like
I'll go ahead and
hold
just put the lid
the
on
tummy
this
for a minute there. That was serious stuff.
Okay, sorry about that.
The
I thought it was a good
I
idea.
can't remember if it was a cure-all pill versus like this preventative pill. I don't know. It was some kind of a relatively new drug. I feel like that wasn't the name, but perhaps. But it was just a really interesting conversation. It's been 30 years since AIDS was first
GRID, as it was first called,
diagnosed, and someone died, and so their presentation that they created was phenomenal, and I'm hoping that they'll put it online. They had been asked specifically there at the event, like, please put this up. I think the mayor actually said, please share this and let's share this video, and it was so good, and it went through every single I think every year, and it gave stats every year of how many new people were infected in the U.S., how many people had died in the U.S., and you just saw this toll rising and rising and rising. And
if you've ever seen the normal heart on stage, as you see the normal heart on stage, every scene starts with, as of this scene, how many diagnosed, how many dead. It's one of the most powerful things. Yeah.
And it was really, it was a very powerful film they put together. And then they had specific things that happened each year. And, you got to this kind of tipping point, I guess it had to have been in the 2000s.
No, 96 is the year you're looking for.
Oh, it was 96
is when the cocktail came out in 96 or 97. You can Google it. Is the first year the Advocate went a month.
Sounds like 97.
The first year the Advocate went a month without an obituary. And it was a big deal. That was the cover of the Advocate, was we have no obituaries this month.
Wow.
And you're like, and my nipples just got hurt. It was one of the most amazing things when you saw that headline, and you're like, this is the first month of the Advocate without an obituary.
And the only reason I say that is because
I'm going to Google it
there
myself
were so many new developments still coming out in the early 90s, and AIDS was still, and new cases were still on the rise, and that's only because I remember being in, I was obviously born in the 80s, but I don't remember any of those things until it was the 90s when I really kind of started to know what HIV was and what AIDS was. And
weren't you born in 79?
No, 80.
Damn it.
Yep, right there.
I really
at the
thought
beginning.
she was in 79 with Aaron.
No.
Damn it, I thought you were lying.
And
Shit.
But it was just so one of the big things that we were that they were talking about at the brunch was that since HIV and AIDS new cases have decreased, that it's young people, it's young gay men that are now, again, it's like coming full circle.
Because you don't,
in 30 years, it's young gay white men.
If you don't learn from history, you are bound to repeat it.
And that's exactly what is happening, that these are the cases that are on the rise again. And so it'll be this, and then it'll go all over again with women and people of color, or have always continuously been at high risk numbers. But it was just so it's hard to kind of think about this drug, that this is not the way to go. I mean, you don't want to say that, because like as a woman, and as a younger woman who may or may not have had some promiscuous relationships, I may have swashbuckled a day promiscuously a time or two,
and Nantucket, swashbuckling
right?
Nantucket.
And what I didn't want was to get pregnant, and so there were pills for me to take so that I could go out and swashbuckle and not get pregnant, or swashbuckle.
I'm a genius. Let's just say,
I like that.
Swashbuckle indiscriminately one night after lots of alcohol, and still there was the next day I could go get a pill so I wouldn't get pregnant. So like I get that, and so it's hard because you want to like continue, but a pregnancy, right, isn't like a lifelong disease that I'm going to now.
That depends on the
kid, right? But
no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I'm not trying to make one better than the other, because Molly girl, you crazy girl, but and one's not better than the other. But
who took a pill after she fucked it?
It's scary. I did actually.
That was the Nantucket.
Oh no! I did too.
It's not just a limerick; it's real life.
It's diabetic Christmas.
And you got 3 fingers left.
Want that
It'll
leg
be
to
like
stay a while.
Have
Better lay
another
off
piece
the
of
sauce.
cake.
It'll be like the 12 days
cake.
on
Yeah, I
the
like
third
it.
Remember
day
cake?
of diabetic Christmas. Here's what I had left.
The third day of
I love
diabetic Christmas.
I love the 12 days of Christmas.
Wait, do I need to do a 12 days of
Oh,
time?
that's hysterical. On the third day of diabetic Christmas, here's what I had left. One
what's happened
retina,
now.
2.
And the foot left, and also the end.
But I
5 gold
This
rings and
is-
nowhere to put them.
You guys have no idea how often this chat room kicks me out.
I just think that it needs to be. I don't know. I would just hope that a pill like this just isn't going to cause, and I think that it will. The young men who don't get the history because now they just think, oh, you just took a pill.
You know,
That's
here's
it.
the
It's not
Right.
really that big of a deal.
Here's what we had talked about before, and I think it is a big deal. We
It is.
have mutual friends, the three of us for sure, and I know that you know these folks,
Yeah.
but at the time that Woody died, we had friends that were standing, we were talking about how they were standing outside his hospital room and lined the fuck up, and they were all young gay men
Yeah.
that didn't fucking learn.
No.
Saw him, saw this
Yeah.
stuff, saw what can happen, and he was 35.
Gosh, that is so young.
Unless
sounds
you're
right.
talking about the quilt. That's the thing on the quilt
Yeah.
that gets you.
Where
Is when
you're
you
like,
do the
what?
math of how old they were when
That's
they
right.
died. It just it destroys you.
was-
That's what
But
gets
I mean,
you.
think about it.
I left the.
You're, 35.
yeah, that's almost my. I'm 35
Correct.
next year. That's insane.
And so that's the thing that
God,
I
it's
think
been
is,
10 years.
It
Wow.
has. And that's the thing that's so insane.
Yeah.
The fact that you can see it. It's there. Well, there's this pill. Well, there's this. Whatever can help, put it out there.
Yeah.
Put it out there and have
you're
it.
right.
Because for maybe
And just-
40 people that might have seen Woody, maybe only one person went,
You're right. You're
Yeah,
totally
I'm not
right.
going to fucking do that. But that's one who then goes to another, you know, depending on how many they have sex with, if they get infected and things happen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
No, you're
so
right.
it's-
Put it
it's a
out there
big
and
deal.
just and really just continue that education
Yeah,
piece and the
totally.
the education and the prevention and the awareness piece, which
That's
is
right.
And
Shut up, Al.
Ah, shut up!
That's a swashbuckling fucking lie, is what that is.
I haven't even said anything. How could I be lying?
Swashbuckling
Typing.
lie. Yeah. Typo.
For all we know. I don't know the tune to that song.
It's
grids.
a
See, I don't even
diabetic
know what.
Christmas.
Forgive me. I don't even know what grids.
Yeah, I don't either.
GERD was what it was. It was gay. No, GRID. Gay related.
Immunodeficiency
See,
syndrome.
Yeah, it was called GRID. Two things.
Swashbuckle.
All right, you motherfuckers. You were all alive when HBO came out.
Not her.
Not her. All right.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
but you two
I
swashbucklers.
don't know.
This
I
is
didn't have it.
interesting.
You can't
that-
prove it.
Wait, it's interesting that there was a radio lab, which I love Radio Lab.
I love that story. It's on NPR.
Yeah, that can trace the history of HIV back to 1908.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it didn't just appear
Sure, that's
on the
true.
tall ship. I mean, one of the things, if you read And the Band Played On, and
Which I've never even heard of that movie until I watched this
I may.
or book until I
But-
watched this.
Now
film
the
from
movie is
Rodriguez.
very effective, but honestly, it's one of the few things that you should read before you die.
Yeah.
Like it just part of the movement, part of the struggle is real. The Band Played On. Randy Schultz, who wrote he wrote something else very effective too. Now I can't think of it, but he's portrayed in. He's one of the Randy Schultz is one of the characters in the movie Milk. Randy Schultz was a big part of the movement. He wrote And the Band Played On, and he talks about the patient zero is not that
Oh,
was
right.
not hard to find. They found patient zero for
Did
HIV.
they?
Yeah, you were talking about
Oh, they
that.
found
Yeah, I
patient
remember
zero in like
that.
1984. Like that was not hard to find. And one of the things, and it's one of those memories from my childhood that because I'm was born in 1982. One of the things that I really remember of my childhood was the tall ship sailing into New York Harbor
funny.
for the bicentennial, because the bicentennial, if you were alive then, was just beat to death. If you think something was overhyped now, you should have been there in 1976.
Yeah.
But on the 4th of July, the tall ship sailed into New York Harbor. They were from all over the world. It was like Fleet Week, but unmanaged. And that is one of the things that they said was the cause of all of it, because it was the spirit of 76, as they called it. Everyone was like meeting new people. There were people coming from around the world, and that's how they think it made it from Africa to the U.S. was during that thing. And that's why New York and San Francisco became the hot spots of where it started. It was because of the tall ships. And if you read this, and then there was a flight attendant who, I think he was from Montreal or Toronto. He's from Canada. He's patient 0 that was going hotspot to hotspot. And so they can identify all of it. But it didn't just bloom up on the ships. It was around for a while. It was a disease. It's like Ebola that now it's been around for 30 years that they've known about. But now with people going town to town, people traveling, communications going the way they are, that all of a sudden Ebola, the next time this Ebola outbreak was like 100 times worse.
That's for good stuff.
No, it's not patient 0 because...
AKA Palmer June.
Typhoid Mary.
Right.
I'm going to start calling her that. She'll have no idea.
Of course, now we know in hindsight that there wasn't patient 0 because this disease dates back much further, but patient 0 for the American outbreak.
But I feel like I'm looking at pictures of him, like a blonde guy.
Right.
His name was Gacian Dugas or something.
And Ernie, I will look up to see how they've changed his story, because I haven't followed his story to see how it goes. Wow. But that is interesting, and I will be happy to listen as long as you give up your Peter card. But he was known for many years as patient 0 in the transmission.
He was a swashbuckler, going from hotspot to hotspot.
Worked for Air Canada. This is very
honestly,
interesting.
I didn't realize that, and it's not Schultz, it's Schiltz. Is that right?
Yeah, Schiltz. Randy Schiltz
died at 42.
Yes, but he lived longer than most. What year did he actually die?
94.
He made it to the 90s because
42 years old. Yeah.
But And the Band Played On is almost required reading as a human being in our age.
And the movie, I thought the movie was very good.
The movie was brilliantly done, but that book, and it's a tough
I've not
read.
read it. I haven't read it. I've
you
only
all
seen
have,
the movie. Yeah.
You all have a homework assignment. And the Band Played On it's definitive reading. The research is there. It's everything we knew at the time. And it's just very well done. But so one of my other point with this is, with any long-term drug, if you go to a preventative drug like gotta go right now, the drug for making you pee yourself in public makes you shit yourself in public.
There's always going to be some.
If you watch for the side effects of this, you have to decide between, warm pants that smell lightly of urine, or a hot load of shit in those same pair of pants.
Sounds like that little kid that was at the Christmas party, but yeah.
But the dangers of this drug are its effects on the liver, and you're not going to live much longer with liver disease. Right. So really, talk to your doctor, think it through. Yes, it has some benefits, but one of the great risks of this as a swashbuckler is you do not, and unprotected sex leads to Hep C.
Absolutely.
There are
Hep C is spread the word.
So many other things.
And in this day of age, if you're going to die of something, if you put a gun to my head and told me I had a choice between 2 diseases, between Hep C and HIV, I'm going with HIV every fucking time. I do not want to die of Hep C.
What's Hep C all about?
Hep C is your liver failing, and you need your liver to. And we can't, we can give you a transplant.
But this is what you. Yeah. When we see you, we're not in good shape.
Yeah, you're not in good shape. Yeah. That's a fucking horrible way to die. So make sure, and we had to talk about this a couple, maybe not on here, maybe I was having a conversation that didn't have a microphone, but I had fungus in my toe from a non-reputable pedicure place. Mm-hmm. And I told my doctor, we're not looking at this ugly shit all fucking year. You're doing something about this. He's like, your seizure medications are bad for your kidneys. I'm not putting you on something that's bad for your liver.
Sure.
It's not happening. I'm like, I will live like a nun for 3 months. This goes. Because topical stuff will tell you.
I did that. I actually did what you're talking about. Same thing. And I think from a pedicure place. And I took that pill,
antifungal,
and that was the biggest thing. They're like, do not do this while you're on it. Do not, no drinking, no this, no all these other things.
You will kill your liver for the sake of one toenail. You're going to kill your liver,
and you can only do it one time. They said you can only do it one time. You can never do it again.
Yeah, because it so affects it. And Aaron's right. A lot of things do have effects on the liver.
Yeah. Kidneys recover, livers. I mean. just don't, and so I did the 3 months. I have a lovely toenail with a weird ridge on it, but I can wear sandals in public. But
I wear water shoes.
When someone told me you have a chance of like hurting my liver, I lived like a nun.
Yeah.
Not one drop of liquor passed my lips for 3 months. Because when you tell me the liver's in danger, that's what I'm saying. So
I wonder if I can get my liver checked out.
you can, of course you can. You just get a CMP.
I need
It's the last
I need
3
one of
numbers
those.
in your CMP: AST, ALT, ALP.
To see if the
I need that.
antifungal
Huh?
stuff is gone. To see if what's gone, Aaron?
Yes, he's on antifungals.
Antifungal
because,
medication is out of his system. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Antifungal medications, but he's on. If he's taking it for a transplant, you're worried about blood, yeast in the blood, fungus.
Okay.
If you find out you have fungus in your blood,
It
you just
can be
make
an
your
issue,
peace with God.
sure.
No, it's not. You have an issue. You're dead.
If you have fungus in your
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Good luck.
You're septic. Right, but he's talking about
Good luck.
Good luck.
No, you don't. Yeast or fungus in the blood, you're dead.
That's swashbuckling.
You got like.
Marty, you just go,
Oh,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
thought maybe we could
I'm sorry. Did I just kill Christmas? But no. He's talking about to see if it's all gone. He's looking for
A different thing?
yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Good. Because that.
Right. He had in the pleural space between my lungs. I believe it's probably something that had since I was hiking as a kid in Washington State. Fungus in your lungs is not the same as fungus in your blood.
No. And I'm so glad to hear that, Aaron.
Yes.
So glad.
Yes, they can. People
Yeah.
can help you with fungus everywhere. Once it gets in your blood, you're in bad. You're in bad
okay,
shape.
that's scary.
Randy Schultz, the mayor of Castro Street,
Yes.
and the band played on.
Yes.
And their Conduct Unbecoming, Gay and Lesbians in the Military.
Gay and lesbian. Oh my God!
Is that it?
Yes, he wrote a second book, Conduct Unbecoming,
there
which
are
they made
4
a
of
movie
them.
with.
And I can't pronounce the other. And
Oh my God, but
Filo de la Duda.
Yeah, but
There you have it.
I can't tell you enough how important reading and the band played on is.
Sure. Okay. Fantastic.
Wow, I killed your.
Fantastic.
Luckily, my entertainment section is very short.
There you have it, sir.
Oh, is it up to me?
Yes.
You all have been swashbuckling so long, I lost track.
It's interesting. So good.
Well, speaking of other things that nobody wants to do, twice a year, a worker is assigned to wear a disposable set of coveralls and a respirator for a lovely trip to a downtown Fairbanks, Alaska parking garage to clean up crap from non-native species of birds. Marcus Dodge, director of the Fairbanks Parking Authority, estimates that the worker picks up about 150 gallons of pigeon shit annually and hauls it to the hazardous materials area at the landfill. Quote, pigeon crap weighs a ton, Dodge said. It's not a lot of fun to clean up. No kidding. The downtown pigeon population appears to be growing, according to Dodge and others. Businesses are experimenting with ways to deter the birds, the Fairbanks Daily News Miner is reporting. Roofers last summer discovered 6 inches of pigeon crap on the roof of the courthouse square, which was also the former federal courthouse. Charlie Cole, Alaska's former attorney general, who has kept an office in downtown Fairbanks since 1957, has been talking with neighbors about fending off the birds. Pigeon droppings contain ammonia and uric acid that eats away at metal and the sealant on parking garage concrete floors. And I didn't know this little lovely swashbuckling statistic. One pigeon can
You're
produce
all making me proud.
one pigeon can produce 25 pounds of shit a year.
Oh God.
A year? That's way less than I thought.
One pigeon, according to the government reporting.
That's a lot of pounds.
Now
of
that's
bird
according
poop.
to a government report detailing New York City pigeons pigeon shit problem. The droppings were cited as possible cause for speeding of the decay of the Minneapolis Bridge across the Mississippi River that collapsed back in 2007 that killed 13 people. Now, to that story, I will add this little story, and if my mom is listening, she will remember. In our hometown, there was a hotel that oddly, the connection I have to it is my grandmother worked in the restaurant. My mother worked in the hotel. Before my mother was ever around, it was also the bus depot. My grandfather used to drive a bus to that hotel. That's where my grandparents met, at the hotel, because she worked the restaurant, yada, yada. Anyway, the city had a wonderful idea. Let's tear the hotel down. So they started to demolition the building, and they didn't factor in, this is what they believe happened. They didn't factor in, however many years of pigeon shit on the roof for the weight of the building.
Yep.
So as they started to weaken the building in preparation to implode it, the building fell and buried a few people alive back in 78 or so.
Wow.
This is a Christmas story?
No, some pigeon shit story.
A diabetic was on the roof.
Yeah.
Have a
Diabetic Christmas.
We're coming up with words this week. I say all of us submit.
Yeah, I think we'll have to write that. But anyway,
Yeah.
so pigeon shit causes a lot of problems. What drives me crazy about this is pigeons are not indigenous to this country. They were brought over from Europe. And if somebody wouldn't have given a pigeon or a couple of pigeons as a fucking present to somebody.
Or a pear tree. You were about to say pear
No.
tree.
See? No,
I
I
heard
heard
it.
No,
I
that would
heard
have been
it.
great.
No, but they obviously they have two pigeons because of mating. But if they would never have given them as a present to somebody way back, which
Or someone just brought a pregnant pigeon.
no, he was given as a gift.
I was joking.
That's
Anyway,
horrible.
But I think that is horrible.
That's
the
a
gift.
horrible gift.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
and in
it's
ways,
horrible.
I just wish that they could figure out a way. We can do so many things.
Eradicate
Please figure out a way to sterilize the pigeons so that they just fade away.
Oh, I bet Pete will have something to say
And you know,
about that.
oh yeah,
Oh.
But the other thing is, every time I watch that Tuppence, the Mary Poppins fucking
Yeah.
show where she raises money,
Tuppence.
feed the poor person next to you. Fuck the birds. The
Yeah.
Tuppence a
Mary
bag.
Poppins.
Or feed
What is
Mary
herself.
Poppins.
That bitch is
Tuppence
fucking
a bag.
poor
Mary
and
Poppins.
hungry. What?
I have to leave.
Braun gets very mad at me about that, but I've never seen it. Something a teaspoon of sugar or something. What?
I don't know what he did.
I don't know. I'm not sure either.
Let's go live to our
That's
camera in the
right.
bathroom where Al is.
So Michigan, I thought we had a cute little thing here. I say cute, and I jest concerning SB 1060. Do you remember 1062? Do you remember that?
1062, yeah.
We
yeah.
do.
Remember that? Well, Michigan is trying to do the same fucking thing.
Yeah, they are.
Michigan's doing the same fucking thing, and the House passed the bill.
Oh, I meant to bring this up, but I forgot, but I'm glad you did.
You know, the fact that they passed a license to discriminate bill, and it gives just about anyone the right to refuse the service to LGBT. So what are you going to do? What's your, what are your symptoms? Well, I'm gay, and
Then I'm out.
And, oh, you can't help me? Well, then let's just...
So my guess is
Fuck!
to give an example of this, if you're in a car wreck, you're a gay
Correct.
person in a car wreck, and you've got a rainbow sticker on your car, or you've got a little rainbow mirror ball against,
Or you have a
whatever,
I'm
anything.
gay fucking tattoo.
So
Yeah.
EMT arrives, and they're
don't
like,
have to help
looks like this one's a homo.
That's right.
No, gonna let her die on the freeway.
It gives an EMT
Yeah.
the right to refuse emergency treatment to a gay person.
Mm-hmm.
Or, this I thought was very interesting because I didn't think about this with 1062. A pharmacist the right to refuse to refill HIV medication because God decreed
Yes.
gays and lesbians should be put to death. The fact that right-wing brewer, as they have in here, thought it went too far and vetoed it. New Civil Rights Movement points out the act is so broad, the way that it's written, it would let a Catholic high school refuse to hire a Muslim janitor, and a DMV clerk deny a new driver's license to someone who's divorced because
Right.
in the Bible,
That was the problem with the way ours was written, and
But
that's
they
what
love divorce.
That's
They
what
just
the,
don't like
That's what
gays.
the controversy
Or
started
Muslims.
with, is when they
yeah,
realized
but it's some weird
in Arizona, and I'm
commandment.
not sure if the NFL hadn't applied pressure and threatened to take away the Super Bowl if.
That's what's credited
Oh,
with. That's
yeah, right.
what's being highly credited in Arizona is one of the biggest reasons.
I thought that was
she
the
did it.
SB 1070, not just
No.
1062. I
Oh
thought
no
that was
no
all
no
of
no
it.
no!
Kind of
SB
a-
1070 they didn't care.
That was-
'cause-
okay, okay.
But when it came to that, when the NFL and remember we were
Oh,
I remember we
that's
talked about
we
it.
were ahead of the curve. We said the NFL
That's
needs to
right.
threaten to take away
Yeah.
the Super Bowl, and
You're
they
right.
did almost immediately.
They must have been listening.
And but
Sure they were.
because there were a few of us that had
Goodell.
that thought where like that's where the money. Everyone who's worked in a town where a Super
Wherever
Bowl
the money-
comes,
that's right.
you know where the money is. And if you don't like football, which is possible because you're listening to a gay radio show,
Stereotype
you have to.
swashbuckler.
Yeah, but but lesbians don't count. Come on, not in this.
And I don't watch football.
I meant two different stereotypes. You have your own. You have a U-Haul behind
Some
you.
lesbians don't even have stereos.
Right. But the money
Well, they
that
got
will
a
be
big
involved,
screen.
Boombox. And a
and
big-
we have to like pray for Arizona to beat
Yeah.
the Seahawks in the game that they're playing coming up.
Yep.
If all three, because we have a chance to have home field advantage, we could have every playoff game, including the Super Bowl and
Here,
the Pro Bowl. All three games.
Sorry.
Oh, the mistletoe. Oh, I lost my dog. Aaron, you're
I enjoy Aaron from LA. That's awesome.
That's pretty
I'm
fun.
so sorry. I gotta quit. Like
Aaron gets the Land of Nope
Yeah.
award this week.
Yeah, I like it.
But if we can get two home playoff games, the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl all played here. That is that's a giant shot in the ass of swashbuckling to the West Side community.
And how?
Well, and downtown.
So it'll be. But the only way
it's everywhere.
Sure.
But the only way that it really truly happens is if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks on either this week or the week after.
Yeah,
because the Seahawks are threatening. Fucking birds. All about
Damn
birds.
birds.
I tied it into your bird story. Without
Thank you for that, swashbuckler.
The really interesting thing that I read in here as well is that because the whole thing is so fucking absurd. Like you come upon a scene like you said with a car accident. What are the questions that you ask? What hurts? What is this? What kind of medications are you on?
Are you
seriously?
allergic?
Are you
You're top or
going
bottom?
to be asking right? Pitcher, catcher, what's going on?
I'm a top. Oh my God! I mean, I'm not gay. Please save my life.
That's right.
Please.
Are you kidding?
Swashbuckler or sheath?
Yeah, killing me.
Was that
It's
wrong?
too much. But it says in a
I enjoyed it.
the irony, if you will, the Michigan House over the weekend
Yeah, this is weird.
passed a non-discrimination bill that protects the LGBT community. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Because
Because the people that are writing these bills are like standing on a stack of Bibles and swearing that they're not trying to discriminate against the LGBTQRS, PLM, and a B.
It's a side effect. That's what they're loving, is they don't have to say it, but it becomes a motherfucking side
No,
effect.
we're just trying to protect
right.
Chris. These.
It's about Christianity. Well, because what they had in here was something
God
about
damn it! I forgot my joke.
it
Could
pisses
Sarah
them off.
Palin see the shit from her house?
I said that'd be Russia.
What?
Because you said it was all in Alaska. I'm like, can Sarah Palin see the pigeon shit from her house?
I'm sure she can.
It was funnier at the time.
Swashbuckle.
Oh, wow.
When I thought of it, it was
That was
hysterical.
a hard reach.
The
was a
Michigan
reach
Speaker
around.
of the House, the House passed the license to discriminate bill 59-50 across
We like
party
to call it
lines.
license to ill.
I support the Bulger says I support individual liberty and I support religious freedom. I have been horrified as some have claimed that a person's faith should only be practiced while hiding in their home or in their church. And that's why they felt that it was okay when you say that they're on a stack of Bibles and this and that. No, it's not about that. But there are certain times where then don't go in to become an EMT.
Yeah.
Don't,
Right,
because
yeah.
if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're an EMT, you're going to be like, well, I shouldn't probably give
Because you have to
that
give blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swashbuckle.
Nails it on the head, swashbuckler
Swashbuckle.
extraordinaire.
Yeah.
That's it.
Extraordinaire.
If
I
you
got
d-
that today, too.
Extraordinaire.
Speaking of,
If you don't believe in blood transfusions,
Yeah.
how can you work in a profession that gives blood transfusions?
Correct.
You can't.
You can't.
so no Jehovah's
Yeah.
Witnesses work in the hospital?
I don't know. Never met one.
No.
Or they're just in their church or hiding in their home,
Well,
with
I'm
their
guessing
faith.
you would know who they were because they'd go room to room and knock on the door. Come here to see the Jesus.
Nope, that's the Mormons.
Jehovah's
the
do,
Jehovah's,
too.
they. Oh, okay.
Joking.
Don't they have, and there's the they're pimp with the
right,
watchtower.
you're
Watch.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need a sandy
Interesting
hands for that. Hey, speaking of people who hate, was anybody going to bring up or talk at all about the fucktard over in Tempe that's wanting
yeah.
to kill everybody?
I think
figured
that falls in other stuff. That's
Yeah.
why I
Are,
was
you, are, we
hoping
gonna,
you
are we bringing that
Sure,
up?
yeah.
I wasn't sure. I thought you would.
Are we going to bring that up in a bit? Because
Sure.
because it
I
wasn't
was gonna-
entertaining, so I thought it was going to be another stuff.
no, I was gonna read an onion story about how
Oh, you
grand
should
juries
read it.
get to their decisions, but I think we should move on to Al
you
and
know
his
what?
entertainment.
I can't breathe, so you should just move on.
Got some of those.
I mean, for fucking real.
And I have to say it vehemently in my most swashbuckling tone of voice. The St. Louis Police Department
Can't.
burning things on the Rams and like condemning them for a nonviolent protest. I just have to say, then you can't have it both ways. You can't say don't burn things down and then because all you're left with is nonviolent protest. 5 guys raising their hands in solidarity with the community as peaceful and as respectful as you can be. And for you to burn stuff in protest of someone's free speech just gets the message across that the police department and the community are on 2 different pages.
Wavelengths, absolutely.
Absolutely. Just as,
Well,
it's,
and did you
it
see
was
LeBron
just
came out with the "I Can't Breathe" shirt, and I thought, good, these are peaceful. It's just
it's
a statement.
conversation. And my sister was like
Right.
said to me, she's like, well, why aren't there stuff about people shooting unarmed white people? Because they bring them in.
Yeah.
The guy that shot shot the police officers in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
brought in alive.
Yeah.
The guy in
Boston?
Tucson.
Yeah, the guy in Tucson, brought in alive. One of the two that did the Boston bombing, brought in alive. Like
The guy that did
the guy from
movie
Foxcatcher,
theater?
brought in alive.
Movie theater?
I thought he killed himself. You brought it
Holmes?
up last
The
week.
movie theater guy?
No.
No.
James Holmes?
Brought in
No.
alive.
Brought in alive.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because it's not there. There's a conversation to be had, and if the St. Louis Police Department and their advocates
Sure.
are doing that, then you're asking people to be violent because you're saying a non-violent protest or statement like the Black Panthers at the '68 Olympics doing the solidarity. If you're saying that that's not the way to go to bring attention,
Then what is?
you're saying violence is the way to go.
right.
Right.
And I have to say, I'm for the police. I think they do the most part a bad job. There's some bad apples on there, of course. But you are
Like
just on the
anywhere.
wrong track with this,
Yeah.
saying it's
Really
disrespectful.
wrong.
Yeah.
Really, really, really
You're,
wrong.
I agree.
when you want people brought down or penalized for nonviolent
For
protest,
doing nothing.
then you really don't understand the First Amendment.
Big problem.
Sure.
And now I don't trust you to defend my rights as a person. I have to tell you that as someone who's going to go and protest something, because there are issues for all minorities. If I'm going to go protest something, you're not on my team.
Right.
If you're not going to understand a nonviolent show of support, we're not on the same
Well,
team.
wasn't
I
it
got some
during
doubts.
the 1070 or 1060, whichever fucking moronic thing that we came up with here, where they had the protests and they were fairly peaceful protests.
Oh,
And
they're
the
very
cops
peaceful.
Don't they have pictures of the cops like shooting, not shooting guns, but the gases,
The tear
and
gas.
the tear
And in case you
gas
don't know,
and
because
all
now
of that,
the
I believe that was here.
We'll just bring this up now at 8:55 in the PM in Arizona time.
You're right,
The report just came out. The Senate report just came out about torture. And one of the things that's illegal in war since World War I is tear gas. But we tear gas American citizens all the fucking time. Tear gas is illegal under the Geneva Convention rules.
Interesting.
Is it
I
really?
didn't hear that today when
Google,
I had that on in
Google
the background.
tear gas,
Okay.
not legal in war, but legal in U.S. cities if employed by the cops.
interesting?
Yep, it's considered torture. I don't know if it's considered torture. I may be being a little bit
Right. Interesting.
hyperbolic.
I like the hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic?
I had to go $25 on your ass.
I like
you
that
did.
a lot. Very hyperbolic. of
And
you.
I love that.
I know. I love that the first bomber wasn't brought alive
Yeah.
because his brother shot him.
Well, before actually, what I'll do is I'll go through this last story just because it's kind of humorous, and then we'll do the crossover.
I
and
tried
go
to do
into-
some editing on Entertainment.
It
Probably
doesn't matter.
failed,
It
but I
doesn't
did
matter. I get all kinds of time. In light of the recent non-indictments of police officers Darren Wilson and Daniel Pantaleo, I think that's how you say it.
Oh, and look at his record, fucker.
They have shed light on the secret process of grand jury deliberations by which a group of ordinary citizens hears a case from a prosecuting attorney and privately decides whether or not there's enough evidence to bring charges against the suspect. Now, here's a step-by-step process of how grand juries decide cases. Step 1, before presenting the evidence, the prosecuting attorney gives background information on the suspect, the alleged crime, and the law, and then gives the jury an idea of what kind of verdict they're looking to get. Step 2, after the prosecutor offers documents, video recordings, witness testimony, and other evidence to the jury, they retire to deliberate which decision will cause the most people to completely lose any remaining shred of faith in any of the American judicial systems. Number 3, before discussions begin, the ice is broken by having jurors go around the courtroom and share one law that they've broken or would like to break in the future. If jurors have any questions or concerns, they write them down and discuss them later in an exclusive interview with a network news anchor. Which I like because they all come out and talk.
Yep.
The jury continues to deliberate until all other members have paired up romantically with another member. If the jury is hung after continued deliberations, the decision defaults to the longest-running institutionalized prejudice known.
That's God bless the onion.
That's good.
That's a beautiful swashbuckling sentence.
Now, after that, jurors are also encouraged to sign the now this is a hard word, sequestration.
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 That's when they're locked in a room.
No, I know what it meant, but I've not
It's
seen.
hard to put that-
I've heard
yeah.
sequestered, but not sequestration. I've not seen that word.
They didn't cut off their penis.
Wow, no,
Right now.
it wasn't a circumcision. That's a
No,
different.
that castration.
It's a different book to
You
sign.
were heading towards castration with that.
Corpus castration. Jurors are encouraged to sign that book, the guest book located in their motel room. Now, number 8, the jury's decision may be overturned if the court finds jurors were improperly influenced by their own consciences.
Okay.
That's funny.
That's it.
I like it.
That's all I had.
I like
Oh,
it.
there was some swashbuckling comment there that I wanted to go with.
That is good. I like it. Well done.
That's it for headlines. We're going to come back with Al's swashbuckling entertainment section. Katie June's going to have something that I'm sure she's Googling right now to try to get prepared for because she's been barfing for a week. Is that a good guess? Is that
Pretty
is
close.
that
Yeah,
close?
I have a lot of good stuff.
Good. We like it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So much happening. So little time. Well, we have an hour. And then people are in the chat room. Oh, Cal is here for God reason. When did
Oh,
Cal
yeah, you
get
just
here?
joined us. Hi, Cal.
Hi, Cal.
Dawn joined us late, but she's here.
Tomo,
Harrison is strangely
Dawn,
missing.
Harrison. So many people.
I think Harrison's having internet problems, though, in Altadena.
Oh, sucks.
Sorry,
Well-
Harrison.
Anyway, we'll be back for a diabetic Christmas show.
It's a diabetic Christmas.
We'll be back right after this. It's Q Talk America.
Oh, ho, I lost my toe.
You've been listening to the show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Good evening, everybody. It is 9 o'clock on the old atomic clock on the wall. Coming up, this is hour 3. We've already had 2 fun-filled hours of swashbuckling, fun drinking, and, well, there's other topics we've come up with, but I don't want to relive all of those. So we'll just move right into this. It is, we got a lot to cover yet in this last hour, and we'll do it starting with our dear friend. What's your name? Who are you?
What's your name?
Al Perkins.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Let's start with Al Perkins. Let's go to entertainment right here
I
on
wasn't
this
ready for direct questions.
Tuesday nights.
Swashbuckle! And entertainment! All right. We're in full-blown award season frenzy right now.
I like full blown.
SAG Awards, well, you can't take a Truvada pill for that. SAG Awards and Globe Awards are announced in the next couple days. Grammy Award nominations are coming up. I have a special piece of news just for Katie. Sorry, the rest of you. Homeland is back in form. White people rejoice. Conversation about Newsroom. And then the next thing was my question for later that I almost ruined.
Yay! Al Perkins, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so we're going to start with now tomorrow, and I don't know which day is which, but Wednesday I think is the Golden Globe nominations, and Thursday is the Screen Actors Guild Award nominations. I could have them reversed. I saw 3 Academy bait movies this week, and I'd like to give you an overview of each of them. First, I saw Wild with Reese Witherspoon doing her Pacific Coast Trail or someone or other. This movie is brilliant. It seems like it's slow, but it's not. It just draws you in. It is the performance of her career. From what I heard, Julianne Moore is probably going to win an Oscar because she has a disease and they owe her an Oscar.
Wait a minute.
Let's just be frank. Julianne Moore is owed an Oscar.
Still Alice. She's not also in Wild.
No, she's not also in Wild.
Yeah.
But Reese Witherspoon in this movie is just perfection. The movie is really well done. It's by the guy that did the Dallas Buyers Club last year. So this man really has a way of getting a story across. And you're just watching pretty scenes. Everything is done through little flashbacks as each time she faces some new challenge, she thinks about something in her past. And you're just given flashbacks of her life. It all has to do with the death of her mother, the end of her marriage.
I read some about it. Read an interview with her.
And supposedly a brilliant book. It's a true story of, her name is Cheryl. Oh, it's a made up name. She made it up.
Oh, for
the woman who made it. And it's called I can't remember what her name was, but it's a really clever made up name that she gave herself. It's just so beautiful. And there is a moment near the end of this movie where they have just drawn you in and made you care about this woman so dearly, where she encounters a child and an old woman in the trail.
Cheryl strayed.
She strayed because she strayed from. It's all about strayed. where she has this encounter with an old woman and a young child. It just brought me to tears. It was so simple. And if Steven Spielberg had done it, I would have hated him for the rest of his life and wanted to kill him. But this director is so subtle, and you're left with this moment of just perfect, beautiful clarity. I felt like I should have got an Oscar for my reaction to this. It was so beautifully done, and she has the right reaction. Like, she's experiencing the moment I'm experiencing because I know her, and it was beautiful movie. I saw Foxcatcher with Channing Tatum. I'm trying to get his name right.
You did well.
Mark Ruffalo and Steve Carell. Steve Carell has a chance for Best Actor. I really think Jake Gyllenhaal for Nightcrawler is going to boot him out of awards consideration in the next couple days.
He's not going to be in?
I think Steve Carell's going to get a lot of love until the Oscars come around, and I think he's going to get the booted Oscar
and it's
time.
Called
Foxcatcher. It is a true story, and they play a little fast and loose and vague with the timeline of the movie. Okay. Because I remember reading the movie in the USA Today, and I knew that the USA Today did not exist in 1988. Like, I remember when the Nation's McPaper, the swashbuckler of newspapers, came out. So I knew that I had read about it in USA Today, and I had read the story, so I knew it wasn't 1988, but they're very vague about the timeline, and it's all told from the surviving person of the story. Like, you get his take on the movie, so they're a little vague on timelines and interactions, and was there something a little honky going on between these two? Like, how far did this go? Steve Carell, amazing.
Wow.
Just because of the buzz that I've been talking about this movie for months, so I know the buzz that's been going around. Jane, do your Jane Fonda's very important.
Yeah.
I knew the buzz that was going around, so I was
floor.
kind of watching his performance a little too closely to get lost in his transformation. Mark Ruffalo is very, very good.
I like him a lot.
I love Mark Ruffalo.
I think we have a guaranteed Best Supporting Actor in every awards nomination coming up.
Okay.
And Mark Ruffalo.
And Mark Ruffalo.
So cute.
And it's his time.
Yeah.
You know, he's been like underappreciated for a long time. This could be the movie he wins for, but unfortunately J.K. Simmons, as we've talked about in Whiplash, dumped himself to Best Supporting Actor.
Sure.
So it's a two-man race now, I think, between Mark Ruffalo and J.K. Simmons.
Silly question.
Yeah.
In the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is, are there other movies that could be released to be a part of this?
Not really released to us, but not to the voting public.
Not to the voting public. Okay,
Right.
Okay.
The big spoiler in the next couple of weeks is Selma. From what I read today, Selma was unable to get their screeners out to Golden Globe members, and mostly just there's only like 78 people to vote for the Golden Globes, so it's a bunch of bullshit. But the SAG Awards members, of which there's like 2,000, they were not able to get Selma screeners out. And
That seems like something you want to do.
Yeah.
It
Like,
does.
how does that? How do you just?
But
go,
last
shit,
year
we
it was
missed
the
the
Wolf
talked about that.
Last year it was the
right.
Wolf of Wall Street, and the Wolf of Wall Street kind of floundered in early award shows, but did well in the Oscars because they're just not ready. And this Selma movie just got ready recently. The ballots were due weeks ago. Into the Woods has been ready for weeks. It's already screened.
So pumped.
That's next week's whole show.
Do you remember when we were talking about that with the fact that, because I asked you, why do they release some movies so early? Like when they did What's His Face as the Butler.
Right.
Why would they have released that in like...
Because there's you have a
release
choice,
it, and then you have these
will you make money in the box office, or do you need the awards to get it? Last year, Dallas Buyers Club needed award season because no one was going to pay attention, and that's what Wild needs.
Yeah, that's
a woman
interesting.
walking alone through the desert is not going to get a lot of things. But if your commercial can say SAG Award nominated, Golden Globe Award nominated, and you have
Then
Reese
people
Witherspoon,
perk
who
up.
turns out is winning in just about anything she shows up in.
I think she's adorable. I don't care if it's in a video of her being drunk with her husband or, you know.
and
whatevs.
Don't you know who the fuck I am? Wasn't that her?
But honestly, I'll backtrack for just a second.
Yeah.
Wild, Laura Dern, guaranteed Oscar nomination
like her
as
so
her mom. Her best performance ever. And just, did I talk about Wild yet? Spot on. Spot on. Laura Dern, spot on the money. There is not a better performance this year, I think, than Laura Dern's.
Okay, I love when we get your predictions because then I love to see like what comes true.
So anyways, Mark Ruffalo, excellent, but the only reason Mark Ruffalo is so good is because the revelation in this movie is Channing Tatum. Well, I'll get his name right from now and forever because of this performance. He does the brooding performance, the Richard Gere in American Gigolo, the Sigourney Weaver Map of the World, those performances that don't get a lot of attention because they don't have a lot to say. They have to do it all non-vocally. His performance Channing
Channing Tatum. You lied.
in this movie is so just on the money, spot on, and that movie would not work without him.
Okay.
Steve Carell is using prosthetics. He's imitating someone that everyone knows.
Foxcatcher.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ruffalo is playing the brother. He's a very supporting character, but the real lead of this movie is Channing Tatum. No prosthetics, basically in a onesie for the entire movie as a wrestler. The relationship is kind of vague. He just gives you everything, and his defeats, I'll put quotation marks around defeats, he has to convey with no words. He has to get you everything that he loses in this movie, and it's not just wrestling matches. Everything he loses in this movie, he has to get you with expressions and shoulders and just a general
Channing
demeanor.
Tatum.
And
Brilliant.
Vanessa Redgrave is in it. Sienna Miller also, and Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall,
Hi,
who I didn't
Breakfast
recognize
Club,
till like
right?
halfway through the movie.
Isn't that
I was like,
great?
I think I know that guy.
Yeah.
And I went through a list of people it might be, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Anthony Michael Hall.
Right.
But
Has he been in anything since 16 Candles?
Yes.
He was in a show on cable.
It's Stephen King. He did the Stephen King novel,
Yeah.
not the one about the guy that had The Shining, but not The Shining. I can't remember what it's called, but it was really good.
Okay.
Anyway,
But he looks different.
he looks different. But I have to
Yeah.
tell you, this. And remember last week we talked about the Gotham Awards where Foxcatcher wasn't up for anything, but they wanted to give it an award, so they made up an award. They just made
yeah.
something up
That's
because
right.
they're like, there is just something about. And the chemistry between Mark Ruffalo and Channing Tatum is, you just buy it. Like
Okay.
you're just, but they play fast and loose with the timeline. Everything goes a little wonky, where you think it all happened within like 3 weeks of each other, and it's the span of like 9 years.
Oh, okay.
They make it seem like it's all one winter, and it was really 9 years.
Okay.
Okay, here's the shocker of the century. 3 Oscar nominations coming from this movie, and I'll give you 2 guaranteed. One I'm willing to bet a little money on. The Lego Movie.
You mentioned
I
that.
have
You
that.
mentioned that.
That's
Wait,
funny. I have that
the one
DVR'd.
that-
I haven't watched it yet.
It came on
Everything
HBO.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Everything
That
is
one?
awesome. I taped it
Yeah, me
2 days
too.
ago, and I watched it. No, I watched it last night. I taped it last Friday. I watched it last night. This is a guaranteed.
Dead Zone. That's what it was.
The Dead Zone. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Great book, and I think in the movie it was Christopher Walken.
That sounds right.
From
Yeah.
Peter Pan. From Peter Pan Live. NBC's Peter Pan Live.
Captain Hook.
Lego Movie. Taped it last Friday.
Yeah.
Watched it last night. Guaranteed best animated feature.
Okay.
Hands down. Probably going to win. Screenplay Oscar. I'll bet my Oscar-winning life that
What?
gets a screenplay Oscar.
Wow.
That is one of the
That it
cleverest.
wins the Oscar?
No, nomination.
Oh, gets a nomination.
One of the most clever,
Wow.
most original, most specific screenplays ever written. And there's a little bit of a what's it called? There's a little bit of a surprise twist, but they just lead you there so gently that about 45 minutes in, you're like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Wait,
so
and
clever.
screenplay is, I know I ask you this every single time, but screenplay is an original.
Now, there's original
story?
and adaptation.
Okay, and
like
adapted
if
is from a
Wild,
book.
Wild may get nominated, it'll be an adaptation. This
Right.
is an original screenplay.
Goodwill Hunting was a original.
Original screenplay that they
Got
wrote
it.
from their own
With,
thing.
yeah, Matt Damon and
Ben Affleck. So, like, you're just led there gently into, like, you're so delighted. Like, it's just delightful.
Yeah.
And about 45 minutes in, you're like, okay, I think I get why I think this is so funny. And then they reward you with your right.
Okay.
Interesting.
But it just keeps on going. And then, because an Oscar-nominated song is just not because it's a popular song that appears in a movie, it has to do with the plot, and it has to further the plot along or have something to do with the plot. That song has 4 lines in it, and it is absolutely perfect to that plot.
Who sings it or who wrote it?
No one. It doesn't matter. It's
No,
told.
I'm just wondering because typically Randy Newman is like in
It
charge
might,
of all of
and I
it.
have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
saying it based on what it does for the plot and how they use it through the thing.
Okay.
About the mind-numbingness of Legoland.
Okay.
That is so genius. And that's the one, I think screenplay's a lock, but I think the best song one is going to be the one that everyone's going to be surprised about because it has like 4 lines to it and then a rap section that's clearly in line with the plot. It's perfection.
Because it makes me, that song just made me think of Team
It's hard to-
America.
Oh, yeah. But
America. That's what it, America.
But it made me think of It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Fuck
Because
yeah.
It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp was exactly with the plot and followed
Oh,
along
right.
brilliantly.
Yes.
Was that it follows this plot of the story, and you need Everything is Awesome to convey the message of what's wrong
Everything
in
is awesome.
the Lego movie.
Nope.
Okay.
It's Sean
I-
Patterson, Bartholomew.
I thought Chris Pratt was the voice.
He is. So now
Performed
Chris
by-
Pratt, the schlub that I've been talking about for years from Parks and Recreation that loses weight, gains weight, no one is quite sure what to do with him. He is now going to finish off the year with the number 1 and the number 5 movie of the year, and he's going to finish out his season on Parks and Recreation, and he has to put on weight to be the schlub again, because now he's all fit, and now he's he's this huge movie star. He has been the gift that we've all been waiting to receive for years. This Chris Pratt thing has been waiting
He's funny
to bloom.
in this
That's
movie, isn't it?
funny.
I mean, I think he's funny. I like his voice.
and
I enjoy him.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't see it,
Oh, yeah.
but now I'm going to, because now I'm like even bigger Chris Pratt fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so the award nominations are coming out the next few days. Don't look for screenplay nominations from either one of these. They're not what these are about.
Okay.
Song nominations, the Golden Globes will have a song nomination. If Everything Is Awesome comes up in the Golden Globe nominations, my argument's
lot,
done. I
okay?
won. But
Okay.
there's still surprises to be had.
Sure.
All right, now I'm ready for the Grammy Award nominations. I'm not going to bore you with all the Grammy Award nominations. We're just going to go through.
Are they out? These are official.
Yes.
Or these are okay.
They came out. So we're going to go through our top couple categories. So the category that I think we're all going to be tuned in to watch, which I'm thinking they'll do on air, but they may not. If I was in charge of the world, this category would not be awarded pre-ceremony. Best traditional pop vocal album. Everyone's going to get excited here. Maria, get ready.
I'm Mariah.
Cheek to Cheek, Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Nostalgia, Annie Lennox.
Okay.
Night Songs, Barry Manilow. Sending You a Little Christmas, Johnny Mathis. That's where you get involved.
that's where I get excited.
Right. And then Partners, Barbra Streisand with various artists. One of them is her son.
Parenthetical,
So I
parenthetical.
think that's a very exciting category and everything that we like in music,
Yeah.
including a
that's
Christmas
cool.
album. And now we get to, let's see what pops up next. It's no faster when I do this in advance.
Well, there's a dead lady that's got a Grammy nom.
There's always a dead person.
Well,
who's it this time?
Joan Rivers.
Oh, Joan Rivers in spoken word.
Yes.
Not in comedy albums.
No, spoken word.
She's in spoken word. So best musical. That was one of the ones I meant to pull up, but I forgot. Best musical theater.
Here
album.
to help, Swashbuckler.
Yep, Swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler!
Aladdin, A True Story of a Swashbuckler,
No.
is
it.
nominated.
And
Beautiful, the Carole
adorable.
King musical gets nominated. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder gets a nomination.
Was it murder?
Hedwig and the Angry Inch. So Neil Patrick Harris gets to get him closer to his
EGOT.
EGOT?
Got
What will happen to the world? What in a world where he gets
No,
an EGOT? What's going to happen? Is he going to explode?
But it really is a promise fulfilled. I think, and like Chloe Mertz,
funny.
the girl I always talk about, Chloe Mertz,
yeah.
the one that played Carrie, I think she's an EGOT winner in the future. Neil Patrick Harris, we've all had our eye on since the 80s. We know he's good. Like, he's just good.
How
He's
far
good at
away
what
is he
does.
from that?
A lot of them. He has a
Oh,
Tony.
well, then never mind. We got-
Oh, no, he has an Emmy and a Tony now. So this is his chance for the Grammy. And he is my outside prediction for Best Supporting Actor for Gone Girl. He is...
I think that would be
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah.
And now don't forget John
was
C.
creepy
Riley.
deepy
Yeah,
in
John
that.
C. Riley got a nomination out of nowhere for Chicago.
Chicago.
If
Right.
Gone Girl starts to sweep and everybody
Yep.
starts checking boxes,
Yep.
all of a sudden NPH makes it in.
Yep.
He's part of a...
John Riley, whatever. C. Riley Scott. Riley.
John C. Riley.
He was nominated for Chicago. There's those movies like
That was so mini.
right. But when a movie starts to just sweep, like the movie
People
with
just go with it.
right,
that is
Wild
so
Heart. I think it's called Wild Heart or Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges. Like all of a sudden, Maggie Gyllenhaal has an Oscar nomination. Once a movie just starts to, people start checking boxes because they like the movie. That's
Everybody
how
is.
NPH.
So
makes
then,
his
what do
way
they
in.
talk to each other about it?
No,
And
you
they-
just are like, I like this movie, and here's
Oh,
another category where I
I
can
see.
nominate.
Yeah.
And it's just when people liked Chicago, they just were like, oh, look, there's another category. But then it didn't help Richard Gere because he remains unnominated despite terrific performances.
interesting,
So
yeah.
people were like, well, I don't like him. It's all politics.
It was the hamster story.
Right. No, and
It sticks with him.
It's not
Yeah.
not untrue because Susan Sarandon didn't win an Oscar for years because of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and people finally forgave her like 21 years later. The last one is West Side Story with Cheyenne Jackson and Alexandra Silber. I'm sorry. Anytime you're going to nominate West Side Story, so that's a fun category. And now the big ones. We'll just go through the top few. The big nominees were Sam Smith, 6 nominations, all in major categories. My hope is that he will be the the fat girl. What's her name? Adele.
Oh.
He'll be the Adele of this ceremony. As a fat girl, I'm allowed to call her that. But we don't know how it will go. So, record of the year, Fancy, Iggy Azalea featuring Charlie XZX. I don't know if I should pronounce that differently.
Who cares?
Should I use Roman numerals?
Nah.
Chandelier by Sia.
Oh, I really love that song.
Okay.
Better
Stay
when-
With Me,
better
the
when the
Dark
clown sings
Child
it.
version by Sam Smith. So that's big. Okay. Well, I'll help you out in case you don't know about awards. Record of the year goes to songwriter. No, record of the year goes to artist and producer. Does that help? Mm-hmm. Okay. Stay With Me, Dark Child version. Shake It Off, Taylor Swift. All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor. Album of the year goes to
Another fat girl,
recording
by the way.
artist
How is
and
that?
producers.
How is All About That Bass nominated?
Because the Grammys are just a joke now. They've been a joke for years. But you watch them because everyone has to
A
perform
Grammy
live.
to that woman.
Right.
I
That's why
mean-
saying you have 9 Grammy Awards now is like saying like the Dugars have 19 children. You didn't do anything. You just kept fucking. Grammys, like back in the 80s, having 2 Grammys was a big
deal.
fucking deal. Now they have 9. Like, they're seriously, the reason I can't read you the Grammy Award nominees is because there's 90 some
Yeah, there are a
categories.
lot.
You can get it, like, it's all bullshit. But anyways, album of the year, and this is still the big one. The album of the year is still the most important one. We all remember George Michael's big tantrum because he had, I'll point to him, George Michael will never be nominated for another Grammy again as long as he lived because he threw a tantrum. He released 5 singles from one album and did not get a record of the year nomination. And he threw a tantrum. Well, you had 5 singles. People had to choose between 5 of your singles. He was one of the first artists to have that many singles off an album. The vote got split 5 ways and someone else came up. What he did win was album
R&B.
of the year. No, he won R&B.
'Cause album
That's a
is
whole
just
different argument.
song.
That's American Music Awards where everybody
Wait.
was mad that he
Oh.
was nominated for a Black Person Award. But he won album of the year for Faith, and that was the big deal. And he didn't even show up to accept it because he just didn't understand the Grammys. He didn't call me first. He didn't understand. Yes, you missed out on song and record of the year, but you were nominated for the big prize of the evening,
Which is album is the whole entire
whole
thing. Because
thing.
a record is a song is a song, and an album is the whole album.
right.
Yeah.
And he won album of the year and didn't
Very
show up
good,
to win
Katie.
it.
Even in your current condition, you got all that.
Yeah.
So, and that is George Michael's
I've been
big
listening.
defeat. Is his one big? He has Grammy's biggest prize, and he didn't show up to accept it because he was throwing a temper tantrum, and that's why they call him the diva because he threw a temper tantrum about the wrong thing.
He just didn't know.
You missed the point that PETA, the forest, is over here.
The snake's here, but that's where the snake lives.
Right. Okay. So, album of the year: "Morning Phase" by Beck, "Beyonce" by Beyonce,
I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, that's
"X"
good.
by Ed Sheeran. And if you're not familiar with Ed Sheeran, please.
I love Ed Sheeran.
He has a YouTube page that's just amazing. And
He
then
does so many amazing duets, and I love.
they're all good.
God, who's the woman that he did the coolest duet with? I'll think of it.
You should Google it.
Christine.
You should Google.
I follow her on Twitter. I'm gonna find
Okay.
her.
"In the Lonely Hour" by Sam Smith. And now that I've listened to the entire Sam Smith album, bring Prozac. But it's beautiful. But that boy is sad. Just come out, Luther, for the love of God. And
Oh,
then
he's not? Oh, I thought he already did.
everyone says he's out.
I thought he-
But I think we're all basing it on the whole thing of like Anderson Cooper. Well, he's out. Not to us. Like, we just know. But no. "Girl" by Pharrell Williams gets the last spot for album of the year. So you have Beck, Beyonce, Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith, and Pharrell Williams for album of the year.
Christina Perry.
Yes, Christina Perry.
Who sang that horrible song "Jar of Hearts" and who cares about any of her old stuff? And then she started doing like really new, like fun.
I love Jar of Hearts,
really
though.
great.
I do
See,
too,
I didn't like
yeah.
Jar of Hearts, but her new stuff is so great, and she does the most wonderful duet with Ed Sheeran.
And he's wonderful. I watch his YouTube channel all the
Such
time.
a great song.
So, Song of the Year, which is awarded to songwriters only. The artist has nothing to do with the song. All About That Bass.
Oh God,
Bunch
that
of
is
people-
the stupidest song.
I
Which-
think it's catchy.
But I gotta
it's
tell
catchy,
you,
but it's
no, I mean, like,
ridiculous.
does it win? I don't know, but
No.
it's catchy.
but
and I
she's
think that's
nominated,
what
and
a
she's
lot of
nominated
it
because she
is.
was a songwriter. And I've never heard the song. "Chandelier."
so good.
Sia, how do you say her
Sia.
name?
Sia.
Sia, nigga.
my
She's nominated as a songwriter.
Swashbuckle.
Oh, okay.
Hysterical.
"Shake It Off" is nominated.
Duh, because Taylor Swift does everything right.
She does everything right, but Max Martin gets
Not
it.
according to Di Luganville.
No. And again, I have been
That's
a big
true.
anti-fan for a long time, but I have to tell you, she keeps winning me over.
She just is doing it right.
I think you like it because she's the best audience member
No.
ever.
She'd already won me over. But I own a song from this fucking album that
I
I
remember you
listen
saying
to
that, yeah.
quite often. I don't really care for the Shake It Off song.
The Shake It Off got old real quick, but I like Blank Space.
And I don't know what the song that I like. I don't know what it's called, but I like it. So
I got a blank space, baby.
It's not that. It's a
I'll
ballad.
write your name.
So Stay With Me gets nominated. Sam Smith co-writer. Take Me to the Church
Oh my god, I love that song.
from Hosier. Andrew Hosier.
That song is so
this is one of the rare years where all 5 Song of the Years were written by the artists that were co-written or written by the artists that sang them. Very rare. Very, very rare. And then the last of the biggies is, of course, Best New Artist. This can be the kiss of death, and in very rare cases, like Cyndi Lauper or Bette Midler, it can be a good thing, but almost everybody that wins Best New Artist just ends up
Dies in obscurity.
Yeah, dies in obscurity. So you have Iggy Azalea, Bastille, who I love, and if you're not listening to Bastille, please.
No, I think I like them too.
No Scrub. They do the remake of No Scrubs, but they call it something else. They're genius. They're so funny, so creative, dancey, fun. Brandy Clark, never heard of her. Haim, don't know who that is. Sam Smith, I think this is guaranteed. But all 6 of Sam Smith's nominations are in major categories, so it's a good thing. So that ends the Grammys. The only reason to watch the Grammys, I mean, unless you're under 40, is because they all have to perform live, so you really watch people live or die. Like you.
Sure.
Speaking of which, can
You
we
can't fuck that
go
up.
really quickly performing live to Mariah Carey?
Swashbuckle.
I don't know
Let's
if
just
that
beat.
was on your list, but WTH, M-Dog. I don't understand why was there no music?
Well,
No. There was music
Yeah.
originally. What the
Terrifying.
mean girl that I want to be best friends with the rest of my life did was he released just the vocal track of the performance, because you separate them. What goes into this microphone is separated from those 3. So
I have a channel that's just each one of us, so I
Yeah,
could
he-
record anybody individually.
right.
Got it. So with the music, maybe she didn't sound.
No, it sounded
Oh,
awful.
it's horrible.
Oh,
It was
it's never
horrible.
been with the
but
music.
what he did was isolate it so that you knew, it wasn't that the band was out of key because it was cold. It was
Yeah.
like, and it really is. And there's people that as they get older,
Well,
their
she
voices
just-
get warmer
yeah.
and more lovely. And then there's people that like do vocal gymnastics that you have to train. You have got to rehearse. You have to train.
She can't come out and sing a song she sang 10 years ago
Yeah.
and expect to
I
sound.
liked-
Do we want to go
15?
the backstory
I
of
don't
why
know.
she did it live?
Because she didn't fucking show up.
Right. So the night
But it's
before.
not just that, but you should be able to
No,
sing
but that
live at
was-
any point.
Well, you should, but
the-
Beyonce
Right.
But it
didn't
won't
at
sound the same if you
inauguration.
don't rehearse and practice.
Right.
and
What I'm
try.
saying is
Well-
this is not like we're not going to let you sing live because the strings might be flat in this cold. Or it's the inauguration, we would prefer you not sing.
Right.
We would prefer you recorded it first and we could play it back and you lip sync it. Those are courtesies you do for people in bad weather. Then there's the thing of like, you have an instrument, but you haven't practiced that instrument or done any real training on your instrument in a long time.
Okay.
You're going to sound a little rusty, and you want to get away with vocal runs that a 19-year-old could do.
Okay.
You are now
That
40.
you're known for.
Yeah, you're now 40,
Yeah.
and clearly there's not a lot of musical talent backing this girl up. I mean, not musical talent. There's not a lot of like.
There was.
There
But
was,
the-
but there's not a lot of knowledge about the craft backing her up to not know. Lower the key, sing it straight. Maybe don't go for the. If you know when you start. Everybody's had a microphone in their hand and tried to sing a song. You know the minute you put the microphone to your mouth, like, okay, I've been kind of hoarse all day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna sing this
Well-
a little lower, maybe a little bit more intimate. But I'm certainly not gonna stand there and go. Oh,
Yeah, and your voice changes.
I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, I've been listening to my mom. It has a beautiful singing voice, and she's
Right.
been singing in church forever and ever and ever.
And you
her
may
voice,
go from a coloratura to an alto soprano. You might
Well,
lower a little bit, but you
her voice sounds different. It's still
You
very pretty,
age.
but it's age.
Barbara
It
Streisand
sounds
is no longer
different
able to do
20
a
years ago
coloratura. She's
than it does
right.
now, and she can do similar songs. She was just doing something for her old lady community, and she was like, she's like, oh, I can't do this song anymore, or I have to change the key of this song, and she's
Sure.
working with those things. But she's also continued to sing every single week,
Which tells you that
all
you
the
know about
time.
music, because you know what? I listened to
isn't
myself in the
not-
car
this isn't
today.
me.
Maybe we got to lower the key a little bit,
Yeah.
or maybe when we get to this part, I'm just going to stand there silently and not go.
It was so
I'm not going to
bad
swash.
without the music.
Because
thought
then you
it was-
found out, and I'm sorry, but all my because I've always respected Mariah Carey. I'm not a huge fan of her music.
I like her.
but I thought
I
she
am.
could. I thought she could sing, and I thought she knew when she did the album, "The Emancipation of Mimi,"
which was so good.
because she sang everything low, and then she did a couple runs for the finale of a song. She would just know when it was time to like build it up, throw something at them. She'd do one dog whistle and out per
Yeah.
song. But most of the time, your
Exactly
4-year-old
that.
nephew could sing every song on that album because all of it was almost monotone and
Right.
sung down
Yeah,
here.
that's
Bobby
actually
Womack's on the radios. If you think you're lonely now, wait a minute. Like there's
It's
no
too
vocal
deep, too
gymnastics.
deep. I
It's
gotta
all
take a-
monotone.
I love it.
And then she does one high note, and then she's like, "Oh, we're done." Because
That's actually
someone
a
told
good
her.
point. I had never thought of
Someone
the album
told
in
her,
that way.
Mariah, you're not practicing. Liza Minnelli, older, can't sing like she used to. Barbara Streisand, lower voice, everything sung in a younger key. Bette Midler's new album, she rehearses, but it's all sung in very restrained keys. There's no screaming. She has a couple chances to maybe do a "Stay With Me, Baby," and she doesn't because she can't. She's older.
Yeah.
The voice has matured. Things have happened. And
He turns to me and says, Helen.
I have to say though, when I saw the video of with the separated from the music, I just didn't realize that it had been separated from
Do
the
you-
music, and I was like, "What the hell are they doing?"
He's-
Like those kids are dancing to nothing, and I'm like,
No.
"What is going on up there?"
No, he's not alluded to it, but do you know the backstory as to why she performed that way? Aside from the fact that she
don't.
clearly didn't reherse
No.
and warm up. Okay, so
ever.
the
Like,
way
not just that day,
the way that
but
that
ever.
the way that that horrible show was put together is it was done on Wednesday. It aired on Wednesday night. It was pre-recorded Tuesday night.
Because live TV is not for sissies. I keep saying
Right.
that.
So I felt that they were all horrible performances personally. But if you'll notice, like every time that Matt Lauer and that gang of 4 tossed to the stage that was in front of the statue
Yeah.
at the ice rink, there's nobody on that stage, but they would cut and there was miraculously somebody on the stage. Oh. So they gave everybody the opportunity to pre-record all that Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Everybody showed up. They had everybody slotted in. Here's your time. Da da da. So what does she do? She shows up 3 hours late. Why? Because she's been on the phone for 3 hours or longer with her divorce attorney discussing the terms of her divorce with Nick Cannon.
Oh, no.
So she is late. They're recording. They're getting everybody through. She shows up and they're like, "Yeah, we're done. We've sent the crew home. We're done recording. So you have 2 choices. We can cut your number, or you can sing live tomorrow night. You pick it."
Wow.
So she chose to sing live. So she then shows up, and because she's not good at doing the riffs anymore, and because she didn't rehearse, and it's cold and all that other
That's
shit.
why there's not a Mariah Carey world tour coming your way anytime
Right.
soon.
So that's the backstory to this, because she pulled a diva the night that she had the chance to go through it 15 times, record it
Record it
live,
however
do it
she wanted,
perfectly
yeah.
fine, and then they could mix and sweeten it and make it wonderful again. But she fucked it up. That's her own fault. I was sitting, and I didn't plan on watching that either. It just happened to be on after I watched whatever. And I watched it, and literally it came on, and she's like, "Oh, fuck Mariah Carey."
Yeah.
And literally,
But it's
I'm
the one Mariah Carey song I think we can all agree on is a pretty good
it's a
song.
good song. So I'm
It's
literally,
a classic Christmas song.
It is.
I'm
I
literally-
asked her to sing it.
I'm sitting in my chair, and I grab my phone, and I send a text to the 2 people that I know think that she pisses gold. And I'm
Including
like,
Matt Pruitt.
and I literally sent a text, I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with your girl?"
Yeah.
And they immediately all started backpedaling, and then it just blew up on Facebook. As soon as I started posting on Facebook about her, it blew up, and I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah. It
But the
was a
first
pretty
time
funny
you see
video.
somebody, you're a singer you like it a little bit older, and it keeps people like Steve Perry from performing after a
Yeah.
certain age.
Because that's a little hard.
Because they realize they've been
he-
smoking
yeah.
for 20 years.
He can't do that.
And all of a sudden you had a cough one day that you're like, well, that note never came back.
Yeah.
Everyone's done it, but she has not. She doesn't have the like musicality to be like, let's change this song and make it singable for me.
For me now.
Yeah.
Dionne Warwick used to be.
All I want
For
for
Christmas
Christmas,
is-
you.
B. Arthur sings your favorite
That's
Christmas
Marlene
tune.
Dietrich.
Dionne Warwick used to be famous in live concerts. She would always be like, and you'll know that this is in the same key that we recorded it in 1964.
Oh, wow.
Dionne doesn't say that anymore because Dionne sings, "Do
she
you know the way
recorded
to
it.
San
Is
Jose?"
Dionne still alive?
Oh yeah, and still touring.
the way
Oh.
to San Jose.
She does.
Oh,
yeah,
it's like grandma voice.
It's all down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she also got ruined by Barry Manilow because she has one of the greatest
Key
key changes
changes.
in recorded history of "I Know I'll Never Fall in Love." Dun 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 dun. dun
I know I'll
dun,
never-
Dun,
I know. love
No one
this
can
way
hit that over the
again.
age of like 35. They set that woman up to fail. They took an elderly woman in the studio and they gave that bump, 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 bump.
Whoa.
And that was a lot of effect.
I
there.
like that.
I think you unplugged your microphone at the same time.
Probably.
You did.
You did.
Oh, that was good.
That's how you know it was a good key change.
Yeah.
Now
But I just want to tell you, when you
That's
hear
what he
those,
said.
the key change in Wicked is another one. Adina Menzel's not going to pull off that key change for very much longer.
God, she sounds
She's
good
in
while
her,
she does, though.
unless she rehearses and keeps that
She's
instrument
perfect.
pure.
She will.
But a voice is an instrument. You have to keep
Oh, yeah.
tuning it and playing it. And Mariah Carey's been, and I will say this about Mariah Carey, I have only ever heard she's a workaholic. There's no stories about her drinking or drugging or being a bad person. She just works a lot. Thank you, Aaron. That's the greatest compliment I've ever had.
That's awesome.
Al's very happy.
I wanted to point out when we were talking about Chris Pratt, Aaron posted a nice link about Chris Pratt.
Do the bump,
He's
bump, bump, bump,
cute.
bump. He's a cutie, and he admits he goes anywhere from 200 to 270 pounds, depending on whether he's supposed to be the schlubby guy or
That's interesting.
the hero. All right, so I'll just wrap up the rest of this because this went longer than it was supposed to because I was promised I was going to stay shorter. For you, Idina Menzel has a Christmas album out, and
That's
the
Adele
free
Dazeem to you.
the free song is Silent Night, and she does a lovely version of it. Please download it now. You'll really enjoy it.
Thank you. My friend Esteban has been texting me as well, going, "Oh my God, if you haven't heard this yet, drop everything.
It's really good.
Go get the album."
All right, so two things. One might take us longer. Homeland is back in form. If season 3, if you only watch because you don't have Showtime, and I don't expect you to charge your mother rent, just pay for HBO, not for Showtime. If you're watching it on video and you think season 3 sucks, it does. Season 4 comes swinging back.
It's so good. Season 4 is what we're in right now. Yeah.
Yes.
I was a little bit behind, but I got caught up the other night on a couple. I'm not fully caught up, but it's very good.
It's very good.
Very good.
Very well done, and I put white people rejoice because
I'm
you know
really
white people
glad-
are very obsessed with Homeland.
I'm glad things white people like. Homeland.
Things white people like.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Now, yeah. But you got to have yoga pants on to drink that. So Newsroom came back. They're doing their little mini series to finish up what I think was a great television show, but has been very, very just beaten to the pulp. But they did they're taking on so many different topics at the same time, and the one that they took on was that someone from Princeton, and I don't know if this is a real story, I didn't Google it, but someone from Princeton who was raped, a woman who was raped, and the campus police, the local police, and the DA did nothing about it. So she started a website to name her attackers. And in the new form of the Newsroom, where they're now like a TMZ, the head of ACN wants them to put her in a room with the guy she's accusing of attacking her and doing interview. And they send the executive producer the episode because he doesn't want to do it. So he wants to talk her out of it, and she wants to go ahead with it, even with all he's telling her about her being slut-shamed and all this stuff. It was a very, very, very uncomfortable episode. It was
Sounds like it.
The victim was played by Veep's daughter, by Julia Louis-Dreyfus's daughter from Veep. She played the woman who was starting the website.
She's a great actress.
She's a really good, and this was a brilliant scene. And they sent Thomas, the one that produces the later show on ACN, like it's a real show. They send her to do the pre-interview, and he's trying to talk her out of it because of all the harm that could come out of this website. The episode aired. It was so uncomfortable and in such an intense conversation as we've been having about Cosby, where there's people accusing, there's an accused, but no one can get into court and have their say, so everything's happening on the internet. So this story that I don't think they thought was going to be as pertinent as it was is all of a sudden playing out in real time, which has happened a few times now with Newsroom, that they're having this conversation, and he's just saying to her, if someone could get on here and just put an accusation up just out of spite, and you could ruin someone's life. And she's like, I don't care that the guy that raped me isn't going to get into med school. He raped me. That's not the point. I want him to not. I want his life ruined. He ruined my life, and I'm not getting my day in court, so I'm going to try him here. And they have a very deep conversation. Well, one of the female writers in the staff room, Aaron Sorkin writes the episodes, but he does a staff room thing where everybody contributes, and then he wants credit for himself so he can win the awards himself. One of the female staff writers got on Twitter and during the show was tweeting out that she objected to the episode. She thought it was crap. She was kicked out of the writer's room. She didn't agree with it. People were supporting her. People were supporting him.
This is all happening in real life.
All in real time. So he came out and said, that's the point of this, is to have the conversation. I'm sorry that this person went on Twitter and said, and broke the confidentiality of our writer's room and the fact that it's a safe place where we can all say what we want. He's like, I thought she understood. I'm done. The episode has to be written now. Like, all of you are kicked out, not just you, but I write the episode myself. I've taken all your feedback. Thank you. I knew it was feed. I've taken all your feedback. Now everybody leave. And she felt like she was kicked out alone, and that she was playing the
Sounds
woman's
like something
role.
has happened there.
So it was a very strange thing, but it was a very interesting conversation, and it was really like the only show on TV that I think can handle this conversation from a what's the show on CNN? Crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
Crossfire. All those shows where people go just one-to-one with like someone you really don't like and just go at it. And it was an interesting thing. So whether they'll bring it back the next week and they'll actually have the episode air.
Sure.
But the episode went a different way. But it was a very interesting conversation that went on in like real world about the situation. And it divided along the lines of like men and women, of men being like, no, you can't just let someone accuse you of rape. It'll ruin your life. And the women being like,
but
we're
raped
not.
Us.
And Kat had talked about it, like, but there's people questioning their stories. So you're like, well, if no one will listen, where do you go? It was very interesting. So, and I put down, my comment was that it was needlessly controversial, because the controversy should be in the subject matter, not as to whether or not he kicked her out of the writer's room. Like, who gives a shit? You got kicked out of the writer's room.
Right.
He was done with you. He's the writer of the show.
So bye.
He was done with your opinion. He wrote it, but he wrote it in a way that I think was sensitive to both sides, because the actress that played the rape victim was so emphatic about, this is my story and I will tell it. You will not stand in my way. Like, and he wanted to say, don't go on the show. You're going to be slut shamed. And she's like, I've already been slut shamed. I was raped. The biggest slut shaming
like
in the
slut
world
shame
was
for
the rape.
real.
Sure.
Right. So she was like, so put me on your show and let me call this guy a rapist. So very interesting. If Homeland and Newsroom, more reason to have cable, and that's entertainment. It was supposed to be short, but it didn't go that way.
Never does.
Best intentions.
I liked it though. It was good.
So just so you understand what we were talking about in regards to the key change and singers, this is 33 years ago. This is a 1981,
good. Yes, I wanna hear
1981 concert. Dionne Warwick, I'll Never Love This Way Again, and this is where it comes to the bump, 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 and the key change, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's. I thought we were there.
She's really good.
Oh, she got a beautiful voice. And she's Whitney's aunt.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Dum,
Right
bum, bum.
So there's a key change right there. And then she goes all the way to the end of this motherfucking song and comes back and sells the ending.
Yeah.
But you got to hear the original, the Barry Manilow. That was a little slight for the key change. The Barry Manilow.
Oh, I've got the original too.
The Barry Manilow is that's a mean one.
Yep.
Where the hell did it go? I gotta find it. I have everything she ever did.
She sounds so great. I've only ever known Dionne Warwick from the Psychic Network.
Oh no.
That's all I know
Or
about
my
her.
best friend's wedding. No, I know.
From
I
the
know.
Lou.
Do you know the way?
Oh,
to
yeah.
music?
Yeah.
No, and she's not singing it. That is true.
So minty things.
Minty.
I don't know if I have what I'm looking for.
We should
there
jump
it
to
is.
Katie.
It's that. Well, we will.
I never loved it. That's what I'm thinking.
Just how good it's been.
Yeah. This is.
And I know I'll never love this way again. I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Did you play the real one?
Yeah.
Actually, I played it just a different live version that I had.
Yeah.
But it's big. It was bigger
This is
than that first
This is
one.
actually the. Oh, we're gonna pay ASCAP and BMI all night for this.
It's a great song. That's a review.
Where in the hell?
And how old was she when she was?
She was a complete has-been. When this song came out, this was the revitalization, and she
Right.
stole 2 Grammys from Donna Summer for this album.
Bitter Party of One. Did they ever perform together that you recall?
No, but they were friends. They were very friendly. One was a Christian pot smoker, and one was just a Christian. She's the Christian pot smoker.
This one is, or yeah, wait,
This one.
right. Here you go.
Dun, 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 dun. Very mellow!
My favorite song by her. My favorite song from her. Absolutely.
And it's not as dramatic as I made it sound, but it's
actually the second version you played was the most dramatic.
Oh, I just love that. Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it.
That is a good song.
And Dawn, if Dawn is still listening, if we haven't bored her to tears yet, Dawn was in high school. I was in the choir, and everybody knows my friend Cheryl was in choir with me. And because I can't hear key changes, or I couldn't then, the girl behind me named Cheryl.
Sorry, that is great. Clayton just finished saying it was his favorite, Molly.
But she would have to lean in and be like, key change, because I'd be like, all right, a whole new song.
Fuck you, Molly.
Because I just couldn't hear the key changes when I was in
All right.
in choir.
Let's throw it to her. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Katie June.
This week in sports and some other stuff. Got a couple of things this day in history. We've got some athletes, big ones, who just can't breathe. The Olympic officials make a big pro-gay move. In politics, we've got torture, and more torture, and in other stuff, Arizona pastor Steven Anderson has his say in sports and other stuff. So this day in history, just a couple of interesting things happened on December 10th. In 1917, Mississippi was admitted as the 20th state.
I
And
think you mean 1817.
excuse me, 1817, 1917. Yep, that didn't happen then. Definitely happened 100 years
They're
prior.
having their centennial at that time.
Happened 100
You're
years
welcome.
prior. Thank you.
Follow-up story, in 1917, they had a centennial celebration.
They were swashbucklers everywhere.
And in 1861, on December 10th, Kentucky was admitted to the Confederate States of America. Which is
Just
pretty,
in time to join a war.
Yeah. And actually, December 10th, this is an important day. December 10th, in 1862, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill creating the state of West Virginia. So December 10th, pretty popular day.
What year was that one?
In statehood. That was 1862.
And you know why?
Why is that?
Why is there a Virginia and a West Virginia?
I don't know that.
Slavery.
Oh.
West Virginia wanted to be, were anti-slavery. And you know why we have a House of Representatives and a Senate?
Why is that?
Virginia. Because it was such a big state that they wanted some way for the smaller states to be represented the same way. That's why we have a Senate. Because Virginia was so big that if you went by population, Virginia would have all the votes in 13 colonies. So they had a Senate that got 2 votes per no matter what your population.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And it was all to fight Virginia.
Huh.
Also,
Fuckers.
on December 10th,
So Virginia, if you ever go there, is all about American history.
Also, December 10th, 1941, a lot of cleanup in Hawaii was
Oh.
happening because
yeah.
December 7th was a big mess.
That is.
Oh, is it December 8th currently?
True?
No, it's the 9th.
It's the 9th.
Because December 8th
Sunday
is,
was
and this is just
Pearl
for
Harbor.
Dawn, but it's also Mary Vitullo's birthday, which is the girl we went to school with, and why I know what the Immaculate Conception is, because December 8th is the day of the Immaculate Conception.
Do you know what that is?
I didn't know. From the 8th?
Yeah, December 8th is the
That's
Catholic
a really
holiday.
brief gestation period.
Right,
can't get
because
that
it's not
out of my
about
head.
it's not about her. I guess it's the day that Mary was conceived. She's the Immaculate Conception.
So confusing. Those cults.
But December 8th is, in
Those
case you're
cults.
following the Catholic calendar, December 8th is a biggie. It's a go to church day.
All right. Well,
let's go to
I'm
Katie
not.
June.
So perfect.
Took me a second, but I'm on board.
So we have got okay. So we've been talking a lot, obviously,
Aaron.
about all things kind of, horrible racism in America,
Or right here in the studio.
Yeah.
or even just
has a list
feet
of
from my
people.
face.
Yes.
Even.
But I'm just mad at PETA. She's the one that gets on Asians.
So, and I don't remember if we
I
talked.
have never gotten on an Asian.
Okay.
Another
go.
example.
Yeah, that's actually a good
Swashbuckle.
point.
One more example of the swashbuckler
Actually,
beating
Yeah,
on Asians.
Totally
racism
true,
abounds.
but
So
whatever.
I don't know if we talked really about Eric Garner last week. Had it happened? Did we
No.
talk about it? I don't.
No.
It was new.
It was new. So anyhow, really, really, really horrible and terribly sad that this gentleman in New York was being arrested. And I gotta be honest, I don't even know what the arrest was for.
He was
Selling cigarettes.
illegal
But they're not called
cigarettes, not
selfies.
tax.
They're called
Singles.
singles.
Singles?
Yeah.
But it's got a funny name for what they're called.
Cigarellos?
No, it's you're selling a single cigarette out of the pack. So you buy a pack of 20 and then you sell them to someone in the street that only has like 50 cents.
Yeah. Right.
So you get your money back in volume.
yeah.
But they're not taxed. You're not paying the tax twice. Somebody's got to help us with what this word is. But
There's only a way to look it up.
No.
I'm relying on chat.
I'm
room.
looking. Yeah. So anyhow,
No, you're talking. You don't Google.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
No, there you go.
Lucy's. Lucy's.
Oh, Lucy's.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right because it's a loose.
Molly would know.
And not to be confused with da 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 da. Not that Lucy.
No,
different.
but I have to. I have to tell you that a friend of mine.
I think his name is Lucy, but we all caught a loose. That's little Beastie Boys.
He was honestly like one of the whitest humans alive. Was famous because he didn't smoke, so he only bought Lucy's because it goes on in Arizona too.
Yeah.
and he knew all
That's how
the
Molly
Circle
knows
K's
about
to
it.
stand in front of it and buy the Lucy's. Not strangled to death by police officers.
So right,
because
so
he was a
being
clean cut white kid from Palm Springs.
Thank you. Arrested for that. Hands in the air, and the last words that he was heard uttering were "I can't breathe."
Right.
As he's
11
being
times.
choked to death by three?
You can speak. You
Three
can breathe.
officers. 3, 4,
8
officers. I think it was 4.
But the best part is the person that strangled him was a piece of shit who's got all these different cases
Race
against
issues,
him
right.
about race issues. And the chokehold has been deemed illegal by the NYPD since like 1993.
So it's not illegal. I actually did look this up because I was having this conversation with someone else. It's not illegal. It's against policy. It's
Right.
against their policy. So it's
Okay.
not like
So we're
it's
the
not
frowned
an illegal.
upon.
Right.
Yeah.
It's right. It's
Frau or
frowned
hair.
judgment, yeah.
upon. But like
or
you know,
inherited upon, depending
I
on
don't know. So I was having a conversation with someone about this, and they were saying, yeah, but police officers, they just are so they're so charged when they're doing arrests and things like that, but not when they're arresting someone for selling loose cigarettes. Like you're not so charged.
And why does it take 8 people to arrest somebody
He
for
was
selling a single
big,
cigarette?
tall,
black
So now
man.
we just shoot.
scary black
man.
guy.
Now we just shoot people who are over 6 feet
That's
tall.
what-
Being over 6 feet tall is now a
and
death
and
penalty.
just like
Dude,
black
I mean-
people are very scary to white police officers, and so
Apparently.
that's what I don't know. It's
if you're easily frightened by big people,
then
maybe
don't
you
be
should
a cop. Yes,
Get out of my head.
That's exactly what I was saying to this friend of mine, and I can't remember
looked
exactly
just
who it
like
was.
the Green
I think
Mile.
it might have even been Kelly. Was like, they get so charged,
really
and Kelly
did.
is not like
He
a cop
died, too.
person, but she was like, they just get so charged and whatever else, and they're like so crazy. And I said, well, then they shouldn't have guns, like, and in this case, should just be off the streets. But like the fact that this officer is just gonna walk away,
And the only person arrested or the only person indicted in this is the guy who took the video.
Yeah.
Camera,
Yes.
yeah.
But the best part is you can hear him if you go back a little bit earlier in the video where he's like, "Stop harassing me." It's like, "Stop with this." Granted, it's not the most noble thing in the world, as they say in Foxcatcher. It's a low sport. But he's just selling single cigarettes in front of a convenience store.
I know
Seriously.
you are like not.
What the
Just
fuck?
You're not pushing.
Watch
drugs.
the movie Clerks. At least
Yeah,
in Clerks,
right.
the guys outside the convenience store are selling pot.
That's true,
And nobody strangleholded them. Why? Because they're both fucking white.
Yeah. Well, LeBron James took to the court before Monday night's game in Brooklyn wearing a T-shirt with the words "I can't breathe," showing
Aaron.
solidarity with protesters nationwide who are speaking out against this killing. The shirt is designed. The shirt is the same design worn before Saturday night's NBA game by Derrick Rose of the Chicago Bulls. And LeBron James just saying it was spectacular. I loved it. I wanted one, and I wanted to wear this, and this is my peaceful protest.
And NFL players all over the league had
So that's-
somewhere
I have-
on their cleats, on their gloves, on their warm-up shirts.
Absolutely.
And this
that
is
I
right
can't
after
breathe.
the hands up, don't shoot. Now they've got the I can't breathe. And I have some information here about some of the different teams that are doing it. I mean, you can go kind of go through the list, but just kind of very interesting. It's devastating. It's very, 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 very sad. I don't, we could just go, you could go around and around and around as people on social media are doing. So if you're interested in jumping into one of these conversations, just open your eyes.
Yeah.
Because they're happening
yeah,
everywhere.
And now,
Right, you're right.
as I'm typing this, I'm going to say it too. We talked about this about the Emmys. Glorified White People in a Movie. In the Emmys, they were making all these jokes about how much pot Woody Harrelson and Academy Award winner, help me out, Mud. What's that guy's name?
Oh, yeah. I why can't I think of his name?
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah.
Smoke. You can't make jokes
Oh.
on TV about white people smoking pot and how much they smoke. Well, there's black people in prison that have lost their voting rights for the same
Forever.
crime.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with Clerks. You made a movie about the comedy of two people standing outside
White
of a
guys.
convenience store selling pot, which is still illegal. well, a guy in front of a convenience store is choked to death. I'm just pointing. It's not that that's a movie and it's fiction. It's just that white people joke about it, but black people die because of it. You have to realize the difference between what we
really
find
good point.
funny in
It's
a movie
very good
because we're
point.
white.
And I don't even
is not what
I
they
never
find
even thought
funny
of
in the
that.
movie.
That you're absolutely right. That people are in prison for years and years and years and years and years about marijuana, but white people that are famous can just make big jokes about it, and it's hysterical.
Can stand on the Emmy Awards and everybody joke about how stoned the
everyone
two of them are.
laughs.
And the Rockefeller laws, which is my big cause celebra, if I was a celebra, is that there's all these people that have lost their right to vote in New York State for carrying less than Bill Maher has on set to get anybody who wants to stoned after the show.
Sure.
Like, it is fiction
In fairness,
and it is a movie.
there's a black guy who talks about getting stoned all the time, and he's not in jail. Snoop Dogg. I'm just saying.
That's true. And I actually was at a concert one time full of police officers when Snoop Dogg got on stage and lit a gigantic blunt, and everybody else in the audience was like getting stoned as well. And no one did anything.
And the thing that I've been trying to like put on, I put it up briefly on Facebook last week, but it just came out bitter, so I deleted it after like 2 people liked it.
Right down.
So for all these,
edited.
So of all the white people that are like the St. Louis Police Department, or all these people on Fox News, or Joe Scarborough, who are like, the grand jury said he's innocent. You're not going with evidence. Question number 2: OJ, guilty or innocent?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's Joe Scarborough's second question. While he's on that rant, just poke him on the shoulder and be like, OJ, guilty or innocent? Jury found him innocent.
Right.
So do you believe it or not? Because if you don't, then you're a
hypocrite.
Fucking hypocrite.
I think that's the hard part, and I've said that before.
No, but
he was not guilty,
but it's not for you because
innocent.
you're a reasonable voice in the debate. But when you're Joe Scarborough or everyone on Fox News, that's the follow-up question that no one's asking. So when that fucking Sean Hannity cunt is standing there, dick in hand, talking about how we're all losers for not believing the grand jury, just ask him about OJ. And I want non-edited, candid answer from Sean fucking Hannity. Sure. If you answer the OJ question, you can have your point. But you know that motherfucker, white supremacist, clown-wearing fucker is going to say something different.
You're right. I can go with that.
I think you're right. Olympic Committee will add sexual orientation to the charter's
That's the second time tonight that Al is going to go.
Discrimination language. So this is exciting. And what's already being hailed as a great step forward, the International Olympic Committee has taken a significant move against future intolerance towards the LGBT. Well, actually, it's interesting. It just says the LGB community in the Olympic Games.
Well, transgendered is still not allowed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
For very specific reasons, because you can't pretend... You can't just say
the strength
you're
level.
a woman now because you won a gold medal in women's Olympics.
Even the only person hearken to guess that's not why or how anyone.
No.
Put your nuts down. Put your nuts down.
I had no idea this was going to come up. Yes, that's exactly why it does, and that's why the only person that was ever not checked to be a female was Princess Anne when she was jumping horses, because people watched her being born and they knew from birth that she was a woman. Because she was from the old school of you had to watch royals being born. They had to be verified at birth of their sex. So you couldn't pretend that it was a male child that was heir to the throne.
No.
I've never heard that.
I've just never heard it.
Because they just changed the law in England.
Don't get mad. We're not doubting you.
I know. Because I'm mad about this topic.
Swashbuckle.
With this swashbucklers, with this new baby, when William and Her Highness gave birth to the baby, they did not want her to have to give birth in front of someone else. Oh. So they said no matter what the sex is, it can be king, because the only way it can be the monarchy. Because up until this baby, only the firstborn male child. The only reason there's a Queen Elizabeth is because there is no male children. Oh. So it had to be witnessed. You couldn't give birth alone. You had to give birth because you couldn't grow the girl up and pretend it was a boy and cut its hair short. This has been monarchies all over the world, because the fear was you would have a girl child pretend it was a boy up until this baby, because they finally got to modern times and they said, what's her name? Kate?
Yeah.
Kate
She's not giving birth in front of a team. And if you go to anywhere in Europe and you go to where they gave birth to the baby, they'll tell you everyone stood there and checked the sex of the baby. That baby was passed around to make sure what sex it was.
That's crazy. Well, my point was I don't think that anyone that is transgender, this is my point, is that anyone that's transgender or going through that process, that's a very serious thing to do, and
but the Chinese women's swimming team,
and
they checked all their sexes because they all took steroids and they sounded like men, and they had to go in a room and they had to drop their drawers.
But real, like,
It's real.
A transgender person is not going to
But that's what they thought
change their gender.
But that's what they thought the Chinese swimming team was. They thought they were men dressed as women because they had all taken hormones and they had low voices. And everyone in the locker room said they won all the medals. China had never won a swimming medal. Thank God I'm here for these stories.
And sometimes they do that to Al.
And they, yes, they make me drop my pants and find the penis.
Let me see your swashbuckle.
Swashbuckle.
But what year was that? Help me out, fellow Olympic
What year were you
person.
born?
The year that they made them check the Chinese
that was,
swimmers.
I've never seen a Chinese swimmer win.
You're talking in the 2000s.
and no one.
You're talking
Come
in the
on.
2000s,
Neither had
right?
anyone else until they
2008?
won, and then they said and they did a sex check on every Chinese woman on the swim team because of that
Aren't you
reason.
talking
So
about
transgendered will not be on there. You can't be born with a penis and enter like the swimming competition because you will be stronger.
Wasn't that in the 2000s? You're talking about recently?
It was-
like
it was
2008?
98, 2000.
Oh, see, I was thinking 2008-ish.
Oh, no,
Where we were
much
watching
earlier.
it and we were like, what the fuck?
No, it was
Interesting.
It was like
No,
10 years
uh-uh.
earlier that the
Okay.
Chinese women all of a sudden dominated swimming, and they're like,
Right?
Chinese women can't swim. What's different?
Oh,
and
I'm thinking of Olympics. I'm thinking of like with the Olympics for gymnastics.
gymnastics, yes.
And that was the
the
big thing.
age thing that they thought they were lying about their
Age.
ages.
Oh, age.
So they checked.
That's what I'm
They,
saying.
they like
So-
cut them in half and counted the
Right,
rings in their
right.
bones.
So the decision to update the wording, which will be included in all future Olympic Games, follows a flurry of controversy after it was just hosted in Russia. And all of the controversial kind of gay propaganda legislation.
Yes.
So this is the Olympic Committee's kind of response to all of the
But transgenders
anti-gay stuff in
Transgenders
Russia.
will never be allowed to compete because of all the horrible. Not
It's very
horrible,
interesting.
But
I mean,
all of the very strict rules they've kept about you have to be born this sex to compete in this sex, and they didn't make it up like we did in the 50s about under God with the
Yeah.
Pledge of Allegiance. They were very strict about you can't just wear drag and then go run in a race and win.
Sure.
So
Well, it's interesting anyway, and kudos to the
And it is,
Olympic
'cause you said
Committee for kudos to the Olympic Committee for taking that step. So the other thing that we're talking about in the news all over the place, and really I've just been so sick. I've been watching nothing, really, honestly, and just laying in the dark. But we've got a lot of torture.
I'm dancing as fast as I can.
So much torture happening. And here are the most horrific details from the Senate torture report. And this is all from Bush era stuff that was happening
2002
post
on.
9/11. Yeah. Bush era stuff. Detainees were subjected to rectal feeding, a process by which food is pumped into the anus even when there was no demonstrated medical need for it.
And
Can't imagine why there
ever
ever
would
is
be
a
a need.
demonstrated medical need, but the fact that it was just happening, it's a lunch tray consisting of hummus, pasta with sauce, nuts and raisins was pureed and rectally infused.
But no corn.
Nope. So that was nice of them.
Comes out the other way.
Detainees were told they would never leave these black sites and that their families would be sexually assaulted and murdered. One never did. He died of suspected hypothermia after being tortured at one of the covert facilities. During an extended period of stress, an interrogator operated a power drill near a detainee. Fox News host on. Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen this.
That's just a release from Fox News that America's awesome because of all of this.
Oh, and that's what she's like. Is she being serious?
She's being absolutely
So
serious.
Fox News host Andrea Tantaros had a somewhat unique
Tardo.
reaction to the Senate Intelligence Committee report.
Wow, we got a turd from Maria.
She says the United States of America, after all of these things that I've just read, detainees were washboard until they turned blue, on the verge of drowning, forced nudity was a regular technique. Given false,
I'm okay with the forced nudity.
detainees often gave false information after torture, which
Mostly
the U.S.
gave false information.
acted on. Blah 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 blah. Extended periods of isolation and confinement in a coffin-sized box. I cannot fathom what that is. What that experience is
Oh,
like.
in a lighthearted way, Newsroom just did a part of the episode was about solitary confinement and what it does to someone who's in self-inflicted solitary confinement. And you see the insanity that ensues from just being alone for a length of time.
Oh, yeah. Sleep deprivation that was leading to hallucinations, stripped and beaten and bound with tape. I mean, just torture. Really, really horrible torture. Refused access to toilets, put in diapers and left hanging by their wrists. stress positions, broken limbs. I mean, it goes really kind of. There's more and more and more and more. And this fantastic Fox News dress says,
is she blonde?
No, she's
No.
actually not. She's brunette
Holy
and
shit.
looks like maybe Italian, or I don't know. I was going to say Hispanic, but I don't think she's that dark.
I think there's some Asian in there.
The United States of America is awesome. We are awesome, but we've had this discussion about torture. The reason they want to have this discussion is not to show how awesome we are. Rather, this administration, of course, because this is all about,
Yep.
it's all about Obama. This administration wants to have this discussion to show us how we're not awesome. What the fuck is she even saying? This is because they apologized for this country. They don't like this country, and they want us to look bad. And all this does is have our enemies laughing at us that we are having this debate again. This woman is a fucking
And
idiot.
it's to get our eyes away.
Cuntard.
This was
Cuntard.
released so that we aren't going to talk about Obamacare anymore.
Right.
That's what she said.
Oh, yeah. A plot to distract from Obamacare's latest political woes. And probably something about Benghazi, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
They'll say it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Clayton McKee.
I have a question.
Yep.
Two things. One, I agree with what Whoopi Goldberg said this morning on The View. Why 2 weeks before Christmas? Why now? Why not January? Why not February?
Slow news cycle.
Release it later on. That's one thing. Now the other thing was, why do we have to release it at all?
That's what I don't understand.
Why can't there be just documents within the government that they keep and they figure out?
Because it's not
why
the way
do we
that the
need to
world
know?
works anymore.
Because of a short news span.
I tried to listen to Diane
Many of
Feinstein
us-
on it, and I couldn't figure it out.
Many of us
all.
back in 2004, 2005 were very concerned that we had broke with the Geneva Convention and had started torturing people. Like, we're not that country.
Okay.
We don't need this way to do it. So we asked for a Senate committee, and clearly they took like 10
The
years to
oversight,
finish
right?
to finish the committee, and it's just released now. Like, they didn't do it on a Friday, like the Benghazi report from the Republic Committee that was released Friday night at 6 p.m. after the news cycle was over and you knew that it wouldn't get covered so that the world couldn't find out that there is no scandal in Benghazi. It's over. This was put out in the right time, but they took their time to do it, and we demanded it 10 years ago. We wanted to know, do we torture? And the Senate committee just took 10 years of, like, I'm assuming careful thought, but we've been worried about this since before the 2004 election.
Yet, though,
we are not the nation that tortures, are we? And then we find out, yep, we are.
Yeah, we super are. And yet,
And Alberto
and they're
Gonzalez,
going-
is that his name? The attorney general that helped sanction, that made torture legal?
Nope.
Like,
Oh, I don't know
Bush
his name.
actually hired an
Yep.
attorney general to make sure
Yeah.
he could make torture legal. We've been waiting for this for
All
a
right.
decade.
I just needed the backstory.
Yeah.
And it's, goes back to where Bush in 2006 said, I want to be absolutely clear with our people in the world. The United States does not torture. It's against our laws and it's against our values. I have not authorized it and I will not authorize it.
And now you got to wonder what John McCain has to say about it, because it was
Oh,
John
he
McCain.
he was
Because this was before the 2004 election,
George
so he was
fucking
still
Bush.
McCain was still anti-Bush because he had been called someone who adopted a black baby while his wife was a drug addict by Bush to lose South Carolina. So McCain was like, I don't believe in torture, and I think you're torturing, so I'm calling for this. This was called for by a Republican, by John McCain, who then changed his whole song and, of course, went along with everything. But this is a John McCain subcommittee from a Republican that's finally
George
getting
Bush
the light
is
of day.
Just a horrible man.
But if you read this thing, George Bush knew nothing. Nothing went to the president. None of the blood supply went to his head.
Oh, that's not shocking.
It stopped at
Dick Cheney.
Sorry, I'm spitting.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is a lot of this is all about Cheney.
He was never even briefed. He didn't know about it till after it was done and they had stopped. He didn't know there was black ops sites.
Oh.
George Bush was just this idiot like Reagan that we hired some Alzheimer's fool to stand in front of the flag and say pretty things. Bush knew nothing. It was all Cheney.
God, Dick Cheney's a horrible
He's
man.
Darth Vader. He really is Darth
is.
Vader.
So last piece is, and then I know we got to wrap it up. Arizona's pastor Steven Anderson argues that AIDS would be eradicated if gays were all executed. He says that we could have an AIDS-free world by Christmas if gays were just executed. He runs the
It's the
Tempe's
gold star. He is the gold star on Arizona's year. He
Isn't
really
he?
is.
He runs Tempe's Faithful Word Baptist Church and made these claims during none other than, of course, a sermon, because that's when you talk
and
about
like
things
three of
like
them,
this.
and he released another
on November
one when
30th.
he got criticized.
Yeah, arguing that members of the gay community are filled with disease because of the judgment of God. Anybody who's homo or bi It's all the same category. Sodomite is what the Bible would call them. It's right there in the Bible all along. It's curable right there. If you executed all the homos like God recommends, I'm sure God says, execute the homos. I'm just like envisioning from the mount.
I think it's in Genesis.
You wouldn't have all this AIDS running rampant.
You
This
didn't
isn't the
listen to
first
Radio
time who Anderson, who holds no college degree, but fear not, he has well over 140 chapters of the Bible memorized word for word, is calling... has ruffled feathers in his sermons. He argued that remarriage is adultery. I don't care if our society embraces divorce and Christians are getting divorced at the same rate as the world. I'm not going to change. And also says that let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over the man. Just keep her silent in the church. And these are people that are of the same religion and I believe similar
He's
faith.
a Baptist. He's not even one of the crazy ones.
I think I am fairly certain that they're Quiverfuls. I was kind of trying to look it up, but the Quiverful movement is like sort of similar to the Baptist. It's very along the lines of the Duggars.
Oh, I thought his church called himself Baptist.
They
though.
are. They're
Okay.
Baptist, but so are the Duggars.
Okay.
And so
The good thing about the Baptists is they come pick you up on the bus. You don't have to be able to get there. They come get you.
Anyway, it's yep, you're right, Clayton, a gold star for Arizona.
What they didn't realize is it was lost in translation a little bit. What Jesus said, what he said was, "It's a cute homo," not execute homo.
Right.
Totally different.
It's a cute homo.
It's a cute homo.
It's really bad. But this guy is not backing down because well
he's waiting for all the Fred Phelps people to.
Channel 12 went after him with a gay
Reporter?
preacher.
Oh.
And so they were all like, well, and if you go to the fanboy page that he has, this time it's not really a fanboy page. I'm using the term loosely. But if you go to his wife's face.
I looked at her blog.
His Facebook page is offensive, but hers, she's crazy town to the max.
Like times 1,000.
You know, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live kind of thing. Like she is just nuts.
Yeah, she is.
And just gives birth every 10 minutes.
And there's something on their actual website where she's like, "Hey, look at this, our new Navajo nanny," that I just looked at, which is just they're like, "We've got this nice little lady, this nice little Navajo nanny in here taking care of all of our kids, all of our chillins." However,
Jesus.
she says it when she's crazy.
But it's just horrible. But
South.
as because everyone's gone after him because it really took off on social media. Well, Channel 12 covered it, but they covered it with and come on. I watch Newsroom. You don't get a gay pastor to bash them. You get a straight, unbiased pastor to say that. You don't get a gay guy to say bashing gays is wrong. That's just bad journalism.
Yeah.
That's like Channel 12. That's why they're fucking retards. But so now that's all the page is about. It was like all they could find against us was a gay guy who says he's a preacher. He's not a preacher. He's gay. Channel 12, you just hurt the cause. Like, the struggle is real, and you're not on our page.
Hashtag struggle is real.
Anyway, people, that's what's happening this week in sports and other stuff.
Oh, as we continue on with our final segment of this 3-hour and what will be a 30-minute show, it's Thoughtful Vulgarity.
And now, Thoughtful Vulgarity, where we, in the studio, try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel and have them try to answer it while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when an important question comes up 90 minutes after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? You're fucked up. What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? You've been warned. Good luck.
I'm hoping to end tonight's show on a lighter note.
Any note would almost be lighter.
Not really.
We start out with diarrhea, and we're ending with diarrhea.
Yeah.
So far.
Okay, so there's some kind of Facebook thing that I haven't read about yet. I just stole this idea. I don't know what the Facebook post is about. So Maria, 2 questions.
Margaret.
I'm sorry, Margaret. My bad. Apologies to Maria.
Maggie.
When did you first hold someone's hand in public? And then when did you first kiss someone in public?
Oh my God.
Like public.
And mean it? Like not be
I mean,
scared about it?
of the same sex. Yeah, I mean of the same sex. I thought that was implied, but
No,
perhaps
but
it's
I mean,
not.
and not be...
Yeah, not like we're skipping together to buy a dress, but like we're going to go do it later.
Well, then that wouldn't be Gina. No, but that would have been the early 90s. And when Gina and I would walk along in a mall or do whatever, if our hands touched, honest to God, it would be like, you didn't want someone to look and think and, have it be an issue, right or wrong. So I would hazard to say it certainly wasn't the one with my name, even though that was forced.
And it can be gay public too. I don't mean to say that it has to be like in a mall, but like even if you did it like at a bar or somewhere socially acceptable, like when was the first time like you felt comfortable enough to like hold someone's hand or kiss them in public? Which I'm assuming for most of us is going to be gay bar related.
Yeah, I mean, then that would go to the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a touching story that goes along with it, or we can keep it clinical?
No.
Get the pun? Touching story?
It's cute.
Ah!
La, la, la.
Wasn't meant as a pun.
No, not really. Not really,
good.
because it wasn't, I mean, being, if you're referring to being in a gay bar, no. Because it was accepted. It was like, this is okay, and I don't feel like there's going to be any backlash, but absolutely comfortable. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm going to go with Aaron and I being together.
Okay. I
mean, to the idea that it would be that many years later, but yeah, because she definitely is more like, I can kiss you in public. I can hold your hand. I can do this. And I'm thinking, no, I just don't think it's necessary to begin with.
Right. Now you're not a PDA person. That's perfectly appropriate.
But that would be where, to walk along and hold hands, I think is very nice. And that would be with her. Out in public.
All right.
In the public.
Katerina.
Hi.
I'm so excited that someone else has a new name. Of course, hers pretty close.
Oh, well, immediately when I was with Kelly. I mean, but she was the first woman that I was with, and it was never an issue for me. And it was for her, not because necessarily that she was a really serious, like, non-PDA person, but she was uncomfortable, like, she was just uncomfortable.
Age. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was of a certain age. She was uncomfortable being out in public and kissing and holding hands, and I would just grab her hand and kiss her when I felt like it. That was it's a 10-year age gap.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And it was totally...
You don't realize, so your story, how big that generation
is.
And
I think it's also the fact that for how many years before that could you have done that with anyone else?
Oh, for my whole life. Yeah.
Exactly. It was always natural.
Really natural for me to just like hold a hand or give a kiss. I'm not like a make out in public person.
But also it was with guys.
It was with, but I'll kiss and hold hands and arm around and be affectionate. That was like never an issue for me. And so when I started dating Kelly, it naturally wasn't going to be an issue for me. It like never had been. But for her, it had always been an issue. And she had always been like, oh my God, where are we? Who's looking? Who are we around? So it was interesting, to kind of...
It definitely is.
And I kind of pulled her out of that shell. Her brother actually said at one point, I am so happy. This was early in our relationship. I feel so had told her, I feel so happy that you and Katie are together. Like, she's just so affectionate with you, and she just kind of is it's so great to see you like this, and to see someone like this with you. I've never seen this before. Right. And that was all because she was just kind of like
standoffish,
uncomfortable about it.
Aaron says 1999 in San Francisco in the Castro. I really haven't held hands with a guy ever. I think I did have fun with someone on a motorcycle one time. Aaron, you just used a euphemism for hand job. I don't know how to tell you this.
It's a reach around.
It's a reach around.
I like it.
That's where I was going with that
Public
too.
hand job in the Castro on a motorcycle.
60 miles an hour hand job.
I like it.
In the butt, Bob. Clayton McKee.
One of my favorites.
1994 Winks Chili Cook-Off.
That chili cook-off was really...
I'm telling you.
We're miles out of that.
Yeah, lasted a long time.
Could not begin to tell you.
Winks chili cook.
I'm telling you. I have
the only thing I can get is a ballpark, and I don't mean at a ballpark. I would have to go, for the love of God, I moved here in June of 93, went to work at Winks in January 94, and a lot happened in the early winter, the autumnal season of 93. So I'm going to guess somewhere between August and
But it didn't strike you as a memory when someone like grabbed your hand in public and held your hand?
I don't remember it. I honestly did. Nothing strikes a chord with me.
She's as cold as ice.
Foreigner, ladies and gentlemen, foreigner.
So low.
Strangely
enough, because I'm going to say it's my turn.
It is.
Mine was the boy that I don't remember missing fingers. His name was Jim. We went on one of the best dates I've ever had at Fort Niagara, overlooking the Niagara River, and we went because I love swing sets, and we did a swing set in like late December on a snowy day, ice cold, overlooking like where the Niagara River opens up into Lake Ontario, and we rode the swing set, and it was like this date out in public. But he and I had gone to a mall earlier in the day, and I mean, we didn't date for very long, but he like held my and I'm not a toucher. I do not like physical. I'm like you stay. I'm a reach out and touch from way over there. How about we get this done with a wave? I'm not big on a lot of physical contact. And we were walking through the mall one day, and he like grabbed my hand over something we were talking about, and we held hands for like past McCrory's and a couple of like stores, and it was just so funny that he was so. I mean, I think I was more out than him, but he was so like open to the idea of like we're gonna do this, and like just being like kissing, like we kissed for the first time like right there at Fort Niagara on the swing set that overlooks Fort George and the river. And I just remember thinking like and it was one of those things where I had the forethought to think like keep this in mind, like this is a big like this is a big moment, like and it really was a fun date. It was midwinter to go to Fort Niagara in the ice cold and do something outdoors, and like we went one time to like at Niagara Falls we went to the there's a place called, I think it's called Terrapin Point, where you're like on the grassy knoll, and we like kind of laid there next to each other on the grassy knoll, like listening to the falls and watching the stars and kind of talking to each other. Like no one around us thought we were just talking, but we were on a date and maybe our pinkies were touching.
Right.
All right, so our
I like that.
So follow-up question would be, did you see someone else doing it first? Like, was your experience with a same-sex couple doing it first, was it something you did first or something you saw first?
I think I'm uncomfortable with this. No, I'm just kidding. What I'm did I see somebody kissing in public first?
Right, like before you kissed another person of the same sex in public, did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you see someone else doing it? And like, what
Show us on the doll.
Yeah,
no, but it isn't. But I think
I went there. Yeah,
but I think it's gonna be different. But I think at our age, it is to see something on the doll. Like, were you? What was your reaction to see someone with? And we won't go with any PDA. Like, if you saw a PDA between a same-sex couple. Not on TV, because a couple of those happened when we were young.
Oh no, I remember exactly. For that, I know exactly where I was when.
And what was your reaction to an intersexual PDA?
Oh, that's how I learned how to play pool. I honestly got.
I'm a little nauseous.
No. That's how I learned how to play billiards.
The
because
special swashbuckling episode of Blossom.
It was at a lesbian bar, and I walked in, and I was like,
story's not getting better.
No, and I looked over and I'm like, what the hell? Oh yeah. And I saw people kissing and and I thought, okie dokie. I need to be doing something.
I need my attention
on
somewhere
something
else,
and doing. So I just went over, and I had never played pool before, and I just started to play pool because that was my reaction to it.
I feel like I'm in the middle of some euphemism I can't get out of.
I know, but you're not. I mean, it's just that it was like I need to.
So you saw people kissing and you thought play pool?
Well, she just thought like this is uncomfortable. This is making me so uncomfortable, right?
I just hadn't.
Or it's just shocking.
It was shocking.
I'm gonna go over here and focus all of my attention on this thing, so I'm not watching this thing.
Thank you for your translator. Well
played. Thank you. I appreciate that very much because I thought that was just kind of there.
It's lesbianese.
This is lesbonics.
Kitty Carlisle, your answer?
Thank you for that.
Second panelist to the left.
The password.
I had definitely seen, but again, like I had already done all the making out. Sure. I mean, the kissing and the hand holding, and so again, it was just a very natural thing for me, whether it was a man or a woman. I had feelings for this woman, and so I had had feelings for a man, and I held
But
their
the
hand
first time
and
you
kissed
saw
them.
two people of the same sex
Oh.
with a PDA, like
Yeah, that was not weird for me. And it was gay men, and I had all gay. I had gay male friends when I was in college. Again, that was like not a weird thing. So I would go to parties, and like guys would be kissing or whatever, and that was
and
like.
it's amazing what a short decade does to the.
Yeah,
really is.
and it was just not
Very
weird.
much.
And I will say, when I went in, and I have said before, when I went into the cache for the first time, I was very uncomfortable. So I would imagine, but I saw women being affectionate at Hamburger Mary's, and that wasn't weird. I think the cache experience was like the lesbian bar
Right,
experience
right,
was
right.
weird. But I had seen
It
women.
involved trucks. And
Yeah.
bigger
But I think
women.
I
think
had
a big part of it is, and it's the wrong, it's the right word, but it's the wrong word to use too. Is the ghettoized version of it when you're like, we have to be in this place to do this thing
Right.
to
Oh,
feel
yeah.
safe. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
right. But I had certainly, but yeah, I had seen men be affectionate out in public, and that was not ever a weird thing.
yeah. I mean, it's a difference of a
It
generation.
is.
I don't specifically remember that time, but I remembering a story that goes back to, again, when I first started hanging out at Winks, even before I lived or started working there,
Live there.
which I basically did for 10 years. But what I do remember is I remember when everybody was like, "Oh, girl," and then everybody kissed when they met, and they all hugged when they met, and I'm like, that makes no sense to me. I don't get this at all. I'm not ever going to be that person. Jesus, give me 6 weeks, and I was that girl.
And I grew up in that kind of. I grew up in like we were
Oh,
like
Clayton.
we were the only like not really ethnic family in a very ethnic neighborhood. So like everyone, even if they don't do a lot else, we all kiss hello and goodbye just because we had like. You just like
It was just a thing.
You can go to the bathroom and come back and get a hug and kiss
Yeah,
from everybody in
yeah.
the room because that's just the neighbor. That kind of physical affection I was used to. It was when it was truly intimate that I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, oh, that's a little odd.
Why is Uncle Bob's tongue in his mouth?
Yeah.
No, but that would be the only thing. I don't really remember seeing any of that PD or whatever, but I remember being uncomfortable with it around and being like, okay, I'm never gonna be like, hey girl, what's up? Or kiss, like when you see everybody the hug and kiss. I never thought in my head, wildest dream, that would ever gonna gel in my head.
Yeah, and I think that was part of the Western New York upbringing that everyone just kissed and hugged. Like everyone I knew was from some kind of like ethnic circle where that was appropriate. So you just kind of kissed and hugged everybody. And you just got used to like, I'm gonna get mono by the time I say hello to this Oscar party. You know what I mean? Like we're all gonna have a disease, but not that.
Maybe the
disease.
stomach flu.
Yeah, maybe just a stomach flu. Mine was honestly, and I just had the impression that as a very young person that was like sleeping with guys, like I wasn't all in until we kissed. Like fucking and blowjobs, nothing counted. But if we kissed, that was gonna be something.
A relationship was forming.
Then all of a sudden it was something different. So I had done stuff, but I didn't kiss another man until I was 16, or maybe a little past 15,
Little
16.
Julia Roberts going on?
But when it just
No, but the kissing part.
but it was just
for a
something
woman.
that you were like.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just you were just fulfilling a physical need
Yeah.
until once you did that, and it
was
wasn't that
intimate.
someone said don't kiss. It was just something that just didn't come up.
It's so funny. I
Yeah.
had a friend like that in high school. A friend in high school that we had been friends since 5th grade. We were like besties, and this is a boy, and it was so funny because we would like we were doing all of this like experimenting with each other all the time, and we never had sex, but we never intercourse sex, right?
Yeah.
But we never kissed, never. And we laughed about it as we were older, and we were still
Yeah.
friends, and we were kind of like, this is so weird that we never kissed.
Sure.
Because
Test drive
that-
the car, but don't
Yeah.
sign on the line.
Right, because that was like a more intimate act, I guess, somehow in our heads than
But
like
the-
blowjobs and like
right.
finger banging.
I pretty much said the same thing
Wow,
without the
that's
vulgarity. But the
great.
first time at
I
this
like
bar
it.
called City Lights in Buffalo, that I saw two
How
women.
swashbuckle.
We used to call it the grandstands. It was this part that was like levels of. It was really the speakers, the bass speakers on a line, and
It's
then they
all
just
about
made
the bass, I heard.
they made
Jesus,
speakers.
they're the fucking Grammy.
They made little steps above it so you could sit on the bass and feel the beat, and the deaf people used to enjoy it. But the first time I saw two women making out, I'm like, it just never occurred to me that was part of the experience that I was going through. I didn't think kissing was going to be part of what I was going to be a part of. Like, I thought it
That's
was just going to be like physical acts just to get to the end. It wasn't going to be about any kind of intimacy. And the first time I saw two women kiss, I was really freaked out, and it took like 2 more bourbons to capture it. And then the first time I did something with a guy that involved, and he kissed me, I'm like,
Whoa.
Wait, this
Whoa,
is
I'm not gay.
No, it wasn't that I wasn't gay. It was
What are
just
you
like
doing?
I didn't know this was a part. Like now I just found out that marriage and children are a part of being gay, which I thought I signed clearly on the line. But I just didn't know that was going to be a part of it. And the first time I saw it, and I was like, are they freaks or is that how this is supposed to go? Because that's not in my playbook.
Repertoire.
And then the first time it happened, I'm like, is this weird or are we supposed to kiss? Because I thought this was just about like getting to that end point. I didn't know there was something in the middle. So the first time that I had like an actual kiss with another person that was like intimate and special and not just towards like, kiss on the cheeks before you go down on me. It was
Hi,
like,
welcome.
I was like, this is nice. This could be something, but it hit me completely off guard. Like I just did not know that was part of the playbook. Very surprising, but
Very enjoyable.
Intimacy.
and it turns out it's my favorite part.
Yeah.
When I found out it was my favorite part.
I know it.
And Aaron says it was a hot landscaper bodybuilder neighbor and his special friend in their backyard, and that's why I'm gay. Hey, if I can blame HBO, you can blame your hot neighbor and his gay friend.
Aaron, I'll be there Friday. Well, you've done it. You've managed to waste 3.5 hours of your Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, whenever you listen live.
However you
However you
identify.
self-identify. It's the show. It's Q Talk America. Thank you for being with us. It's Katie June, Marnie Ryer, Al Perkins. I'm Clayton McKee. We'll leave you with this touching thought. We will see you next Tuesday!
You've been listening to the show on Q Talk America.